hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Pallavi, and along with Anupa and Shweta, we will all be your hosts for the evening. Welcome to Teachers Telling Tales. It is a 3-month offering by Ankit over here, where he teaches storytelling to teachers, but basically people from all walks of life can come here. Today, our performers are learners. They've been learning under Ankit. They've been learning storytelling under Ankit, and we have all been practicing a lot for today. And thank you so much for joining and showing your support and encouragement to all of our learners. We have stories in English, Hindi, and Marathi. We have stories in from India, from Japan, something from Vietnam as well. We have folk tales, we have fairy tales. We also have true personal stories. We have stories written and performed by the performers themselves. So there's a lot in offering today for each one of us, and we are very sure that each one of you will have something to take away from today's show. So thank you so much for coming in and showing your support to each one of us. Before I begin and we begin with the performances, I have a couple of requests to each one of us in the audience today. First is that if it's possible for you, could you please switch on your camera? Keep yourself muted, but switch on your camera so that all of us can see each other and it feels like we're actually together, right? So if I could have a few cameras being switched on, it would be great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Second is that if you really enjoyed the story, and I'm pretty sure you will, feel free to send reactions through emojis or send them on chat, but after the performance is done. Because some of us may be on mobile, and if you send a reaction on chat or on, through an emoji, then it disrupts our view. So after the performance is done, you can send reactions on through emoji or chat. So feel free to, can we do a trial right now? Can we get a few emojis as reactions right now from some of us? Yes. Thank you so much. Yes. So hearts, claps, all of those things we can get from our audience members, but once the performance is over. That was second. Third is that I can see that all of us are wearing winter wear, winter clothes. Why don't we share a bit of warmth with our performers after the performance by rubbing our hands? Can I see a few hands being rubbed together? Thank you so much. So we can share a bit of warmth through this, or we can even clap. If that is something that you're more comfortable with, we can clap as well. Thank you so much. And finally, I understand that all of us come from different cities. We probably are not in the same room together, and we're joining online. However, we can still feel like we're in the same space if we use the gallery view on Zoom. So if you're on a system, you can go to the top right and you'll see an option called view. If you click on view and then you see the gallery option and you click on it, you'll get to see all our faces, all our lovely, beautiful, wonderful faces on your screen. And it'll feel like we're all together in the same hall and same space, nicely enjoying the stories that our performers are presenting. So thank you so much for listening to me so far. I would first like to call on stage our facilitator for the past 3 months, our guide, Ankit, to start us off. Ankit, could we hear from you, please? Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Pallavi. And just also taking a moment to see all of you and to welcome all of you, performers and those who are not performing today, but who have been learning with us and who will be performing very soon. Um, just good to see you all because there are performers and their families here, which make it very special because some of your parents are coming and some of your children are coming. And for some of you, it's both the parents and the children watching you here. This is very special. I just want to acknowledge also because um, our learners are grown-ups. It's very rare sometimes for a learner to find a learning space as a grown-up. So I'm really proud of you that you have taken the opportunity to learn something new as a grown-up. And today is just a little showcase where we show it to our family and friends. So I think it's time for us to get started. To begin with, I am going to call Rupinder, who is going to tell us a very interesting story. Now, we love our parents, that's okay. And our parents love things, and that is okay. But sometimes we don't love the things that our parents love. And this is a story of one such girl. It's called The Girl Who Hated Books, and it's based on a work by Manjusha Pawaki. So I would like to welcome our first storyteller, Rupinder. and we can start whenever you're ready.
ये कहानी है एक लड़की के बारे में जिसका नाम था मीना। संस्कृत में अगर आप इस नाम के मायने खोजेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा कि इसका मतलब है मछली। लेकिन मीना को यह बात नहीं पता थी। कैसे पता होती? वो तो कहानियां पढ़ती ही नहीं थी, उसे तो किताबों से नफरत थी। हो भी क्यों ना, उसके घर में हर जगह किताबें थी। किताबें केवल मेज पर या बुकशेल्फ में नहीं होती थी, पर हर उस जगह पर थी जहां उन्हें नहीं होना चाहिए। किताबें थी दराज में, अलमारी में, सोफे पर, कुर्सी के ऊपर, कुर्सी के नीचे, हर जगह किताबें। किताबों से याद आया कि किताबें लाता कौन था? मीना के माता पिता, जिन्हें किताबों से बहुत प्यार था। वो तो सुबह दोपहर शाम हर समय किताबों के बारे में बात कर सकते थे। वो लाइब्रेरी से लेकर आते थे, दोस्तों से मांग कर लाते थे, और पता नहीं कहां कहां से। पर घर में एक और शख्स था जिसे किताबों से उतनी ही नफरत थी। वो थी मीना की बिल्ली मैक्स। सुना है जब वो छोटी थी तो उसकी दुम पर एक भारी भरकम एटलस की किताब गिर गई थी। तब से उसकी पूंछ टेढ़ी है। खैर, एक दिन रोजाना की तरह मीना उठी। उसने सिंक में से बहुत सारी किताबें साइड में करी, मंजन कुल्ला किया, रसोई में गई, पड़ी किताबों की सीढ़ी बनाकर ऊपर चढ़ी, कॉर्नफ्लेक्स निकाले, फ्रिज खोला, पत्रिकाएं भरी थी, उन्हें साइड में किया और पीछे से दूध निकाला और अपना और मैक्स का नाश्ता तैयार किया। मैक्स को आवाज लगाई, मैक्स, नाश्ता तैयार है। मैक्स कहाँ है? मैक्स की तो कोई आवाज ही नहीं आई। उसने फिर आवाज लगाई, मैक्स, नाश्ता तैयार है। दूर कहीं से आवाज आई, म्याऊ। जब मीना देखने गई तो देखा कि आखिर के कमरे में सबसे ऊंची किताबों के टीले के ऊपर जाकर मैक्स फंस गई है। ये जो किताबें थी, ये मीना के माता पिता बड़े लाड से, प्यार से, खास तौर पे मीना के लिए लेकर आए थे। नीचे नीचे वो किताबें थी जिनमें शब्द तो नहीं थे, पर चित्र से बनी हुई चित्रकथाएं थी। बीच में वर्णमाला और शब्द ज्ञान वाली किताबें थी, और सबसे ऊपर रोमांच से भरी हुई परियों की और जानवरों की किताबें थी, पर सभी मिट्टी से भरी हुई। खैर, मीना ने सोचा कि अब मैं मैक्स को किसी तरह से तो उतारूंगी। मीना उन्हीं की सीढ़ी बनाकर धीरे धीरे चढ़ने लगी। शुरू शुरू में तो बड़ा संतुलन बनाया, पर जैसे ही उसका पैर बीच की पतली किताबों पर पड़ा, एकदम से धड़ाम से मीना नीचे आ फिसली, और धड़ 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 धमाके से सारी किताबें नीचे गिरी। एक बड़ी हैरानी की बात हुई, किताबें खुद ब खुद खुलने लगी, पन्ने पलटने लगे, और देखो, सारे आदमी और सारे जानवर उस किताबों में से निकल निकल कर बाहर गिरने लगे, एक दूसरे के ऊपर गिरने लगे। राजकुमार और राजकुमारी तो निकलकर नाचने लगे, ऊपर परियां मंडराने लगी। हाथी को देखो, वो तो मेज के ऊपर नाच रहा है और प्लेटों को अपनी सूंड पर घुमा रहा है, और सारे बंदर पर्दों से लटक रहे हैं और उसको पट्टियां बना बना कर सिर पर पगड़ी बांध रहे हैं। खरगोश खरगोश खरगोश, इतने खरगोश, और ये चूहे, आ! मीना जोर से चिल्लाई, बस करो ये सब। पर किसी ने उसकी बात कहाँ सुनी। कमरे की तो हालत पहचान में नहीं आ रही थी, सब शोर शराबा। मीना को समझ नहीं आया ये सब वो कैसे करेगी। उसने एक खरगोश को पकड़कर किताब के अंदर डालने की कोशिश करी, जोर से ढूंढा, और खरगोश तो घबरा गया, खरगोश भाग गया। मीना ने लंबी सांस ली और अब ये सोचा कि वो उन्हीं से पूछेगी, एक एक को पकड़ कर पूछेगी, भाई तुम किस कहानी से हो? मीना को तो ये भी नहीं पता, कभी पढ़ी हो किताबें तो पता हो, मीना को तो किताबों से नफरत थी। देखा मेज के नीचे एक सिसका हुआ सा भेड़िया बैठा है, उससे जाकर पूछा। उसने कहा, मुझे तो याद नहीं आ रहा, क्या मैं रेड राइडिंग हुड का हूँ, या फिर मैं वो तीन सूर वाली कहानी का हूँ? अब मीना उसकी मदद करे भी तो कैसे करे। हार कर मीना ने एक किताब उठाई और उससे पढ़ना शुरू किया। बहुत समय की बात है, एक दूर शहर में, ऐसा बोलते ही सारे जानवर शांत हो गए। धीरे धीरे आकर मीना के पास एक गोला बनाकर बैठ गए। वो सभी कहानी सुनना चाहते थे और मीना की हर एक बात सुनना चाहते थे। जैसे ही मीना पन्ना पलटा और दूसरे पन्ने पर पहुंची, वहां बैठा सुअरों का जोड़ा बोला, ये तो, और वो उछल कर मीना की गोद में कूदी और वो किताब के अंदर गायब हो गए। मीना ने झट से किताब बंद कर दी। वो नहीं चाहती थी कि वो वहां से बाहर आए। मीना ने दूसरी किताब खोली, तीसरी किताब खोली, चौथी किताब खोली। जैसे जैसे वो कहानियां पढ़ती गई, आसपास बैठे वाले सारे जानवर अपनी अपनी कहानी पहचान कर उसमें गायब हो गए। आखिर में एक खरगोश बचा। अब वो खरगोश को जाने तो नहीं देना चाहती थी। मीना का ना जरा मन सा लग गया था। अब वो नहीं चाहती थी कि ये उसके छोड़कर जाए। पर खरगोश ने कहा, अभी मुझे जाने दो, मेरे घर वाले मेरा इंतजार कर रहे हैं। पर ये है कि जब तुम्हें हमारी याद आए कि तुम किताब खोलकर हमसे मिलने आ जाना। ये बात सुनकर मीना मुस्कुराने लगी और उसने आखिरी कहानी भी खत्म कर दी। शाम को जब मीना के माता पिता घर आए, वो देखकर कमरे की हालत बड़े हैरान और परेशान थे। पर्दे फटे हुए हैं, मेज के पैरों को कुतरा गया है और चीजें इधर उधर टूटी फूटी पड़ी है। बस सबसे हैरान करने वाली बात तो ये थी कि मीना किताबों के ढेर में बैठी किताबें पढ़ रही थी। अब शायद मीना को किताबों से नफरत नहीं थी।
So,
धन्यवाद।
thank you so much, Rupinder. Thank you so much. Yes, chat में भी हमें audience dancing, Vineet and Swati ji, all of us. Thank you so much, Rupinder. Thank you for kicking us off on such a very end. Like हम सब अगर कहानियां पसंद करते तो probably हमें books पढ़ना भी पसंद है. So I think this is such a great way to start off the storytelling show for the evening. Before I leave you and before we move on to the next person, Rupinder, I understand कि आप 15 years से एक primary school teacher रह चुकी हैं. So could you tell us a bit about your work and how storytelling also, gets impacted and gets involved in all of this?
Thank you so much, everyone, for appreciating me. You've been really generous. I wasn't expecting this. Thank you so much. मैं 15 साल से स्कूल टीचर हूँ और मैं मैथ्स ही पढ़ा रही हूँ. Although we get a section of homeroom in our classrooms wherein that's a time for us to talk to our kids as a non-math teacher. So at that time, I really feel that storytelling helps me because that invites a lot of discussion over a lot of things. So I like talking to kids. I always feel storytelling is the best way to do that. इसी कहानी पर हम पता नहीं कितनी और बातचीत कर सकते हैं. तो वो बातचीत जब मैं इनवाइट करती हूँ और बच्चों से बात करती हूँ और सोचती हूँ ये कितने इंटेलिजेंट लोग हैं, ये छोटे छोटे प्राणी जो 9-10 साल के हैं, दे हैव अ वर्ल्ड ऑफ देयर ओन टू शेयर. सो दैट इज व्हाई ये जो कोर्स भी मेरा हुआ है मैम सर के साथ, दिस हैज गिवन मी कॉन्फिडेंस कि मैं और इस चीज को अपनी क्लासरूम में ले जा सकती हूँ. Thank you so much, everyone, for making this process smooth for me. Thank you.
So now we will move on to the next story of the evening. हमारी अगली परफॉर्मर आ रही हैं वापी गुजरात से. वो हाई स्कूल स्टूडेंट्स को पॉलिटिकल साइंस पढ़ाती हैं. एंड वन थिंग विच आई फाउंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग वाज दैट उन्होंने अपनी टीचिंग जर्नी शुरुआत की थी फ्रॉम द वेरी स्कूल दैट शी वाज लर्निंग इन. So please welcome on stage, presenting a true personal story, Ankita over here. Over to you, Ankita. The story is called Say Yes to Life. Thank you so much.
चल के तुझे मैं लेके चलूं एक ऐसे गगन के तले जहां गम भी ना हो आंसू भी ना हो बस प्यार ही प्यार पले. आइए मैं आपको 20 साल पहले की अंकिता से मिलवाती हूँ. उस समय मैं कुछ चुपचाप सी और अभी से भी ज्यादा घबराई हुई हुआ करती थी. लेकिन मेरी आंखों में थे ढेर सारे सपने और उन सपनों को पूरा करने की उम्मीद से मैं रोज अपने कॉलेज जाती. अरेबियन सी के बिल्कुल सामने था मेरी कॉलेज का सुंदर सा हेरिटेज स्ट्रक्चर और इस बड़े से बिल्डिंग में था एक छोटा सा नेचर क्लब. मैं जब जब नेचर क्लब के सामने से जाती मुझे अंदर से बहुत सारी इंटरेस्टिंग बातें सुनाई देती. कभी मीठी नदी के बारे में, कभी मैंग्रोव्स के बारे में, तो कभी अंदर उन प्रोफेसर को बैठा हुआ देखती जिनके बारे में ये सुना था कि वे पक्षियों की आवाज सुनकर ही उनका नाम बता देते थे। मेरा बड़ा मन करता था कि मैं भी ये सारी चीजें सीखूं, लेकिन कभी अंदर जाने की हिम्मत ही नहीं हुई। मैं अंदर जाऊं और किसी ने कुछ ऐसा पूछ लिया जिसका जवाब ही मुझे ना आता हो तो। ऐसे ही कॉलेज का फर्स्ट ईयर, सेकेंड ईयर और थर्ड ईयर भी कंप्लीट हो गया। कॉलेज खत्म हुए 6 साल बीत गए थे, तब मैं और मेरी दोस्त प्रियंका अपने उन्हीं सर से मिलने गए थे। बातों बातों में पता चला वो उस साल की क्लास को फील्ड ट्रिप पर ले जा रहे थे। हमने नाराज होकर कहा, सर आप हमारी क्लास को तो कभी फील्ड ट्रिप पर नहीं ले गए। सर मुस्कुराए। उन्होंने कहा, बेटा, देयर इज अ नेचर क्लब कैंप कमिंग अप, वी आर गोइंग टू तवांग, यू कैन रजिस्टर फॉर इट इफ यू लाइक। उस समय जिंदगी में मैं कुछ ऐसी जगह पे थी जहां से निकलने की चाह इतनी बड़ी थी कि मेरा सारा डर छोटा पड़ गया और मैंने झट से रजिस्टर कर दिया। पापा का दिया हुआ हैवरसैक और मम्मी के बांधे हुए थेपले लेकर मैं निकल पड़ी। ट्रेन में चढ़ते ही प्रियंका और मैंने सबसे ऊपर वाला बर्थ पकड़ लिया। नीचे उतरेंगे तो किसी से बात करनी पड़ेगी ना। प्री ने कहा, अंकु हम आ तो गए हैं, पर ये 10 दिन निकालेंगे कैसे? हाँ प्री, ऐसे ही अनकंफर्टेबल लगता रहा तो प्लान बी, हम सर से कहकर वापस लौट जाएंगे। लेकिन उस प्लान बी की कभी जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ी। वहां जाकर जो नई दुनिया हमारे सामने खुली, हमने दोबारा मुड़ के कभी नहीं देखा। वो पहला स्नोफॉल, वो पहला लीच बाइट, वो पहली बार ड्रोंगो बर्ड को आइडेंटिफाई करना, वो हॉर्नबिल्स की कहानियां सुनना, वो वाटरफॉल को ढूंढते ढूंढते आखिर में पाइप से गिरते हुए पानी को देखकर हंसना। एक बार तो घने जंगल के बीचों बीच सर ने कहा, लुक अराउंड यू, हाउ मेनी शेड्स ऑफ ग्रीन कैन यू सी? ऐसा लगा जैसे पेड़ों को पहली बार देख रही हूं। पत्तों के शेड्स काउंट करते करते मुझे अपने अंदर के कई सारे रंग नजर आए, और तब से हर बार मैं नेचर क्लब के हर एक कैंप में जाती रही और ढेर सारे अनुभव बटोरती रही। 2019 के एक ऐसे ही कैंप में जब हम नदी के किनारे बैठे थे, हमने वहां कई सारे हाथी देखे। उन हाथियों के पैरों में बंधी हुई थी पतली सी रस्सियां। हमने सोचा, ये हाथी इतने बड़े, इतने ताकतवर, चाहे तो एक झटके में इन रस्सियों को तोड़कर आजाद हो सकते हैं, फिर भी बंध कर क्यों चल रहे हैं? सर ने बताया, ये रस्सियां उनके पैरों में तब बांधी गई थी जब वे बहुत छोटे थे। उन्हें लगा तब नहीं तोड़ पाए थे तो अब कैसे? तब मुझे समझ आया, मेरे मन में भी ऐसी कई सारी रस्सियां थी जो दिखती तो नहीं थी पर थी जरूर। लेकिन 2015 के उस कैंप में जाकर मैंने उन रस्सियों को खोलना सीख लिया।
Thank you so much, Ankita. I I think college is a place जहाँ पे हम काफी कुछ अपने आप को एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, एंड आपकी कहानी से मुझे खुद के अपने कॉलेज डेज की याद आ गए जहाँ पे वी वर एबल टू एक्सप्लोर अ लॉट ऑफ आवर पर्सनालिटी एज वेल, एंड थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग सो मच अबाउट योरसेल्फ वेरी लविंगली एज वेल. एंड
Thank
यस,
you.
यू कैन चेक द चैट्स आल्सो. अंकिता, लोग को काफी मजा आया आपकी स्टोरी सुनकर. थैंक यू सो मच.
वो
बिफोर यू गो,
कैसा महसूस हो रहा है अंकिता? हाउ डू यू
यस,
फील नाउ?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy, sir. I told you third standard के बाद I stopped speaking in front of people. So this was a huge challenge for me and the biggest yes that I've said to life. So I'm so happy for this wonderful space.
Yeah. It's so good to hear you, Ankita. Also, working on a personal story is usually very difficult because a lot of emotions come in. Some of these emotions we have never had the chance to even experience or process, let alone share with such a large gathering. So, how was it to work on a person's story?
It was a bit challenging because initially I doubted whether this is a story worth telling, because I knew it was very special for me, but I wasn't sure if audience will find any value in it. But then after speaking with you and continuously getting feedback from mentors, and initially I was reluctant to speak even for 4 minutes, and then the story went on for six and a half. Then we had, after every feedback, I could cut it down and make it crisp. So that feedback and the training and the practice sessions helped so much. So I want to thank you and all the mentors. And I also want to dedicate this story to my teacher, Professor Sudhakar. And I'm also so happy that my parents are here. They have never missed my annual day. So they are here. This is I was telling them in the morning, मेरा annual day है. आप लोग आ जाना time से. My husband is also here. So I'm so happy they all are here. I don't know who else is here. I'll check later.
Yeah, if your parents or your husband, if they want anything to say, we welcome you. I can see your parents definitely, and yeah, if your husband is also here, and if they just want to say a few words, we would love to hear.
And they can just wave. Hello, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you so much, Ankita. And Pallavi,
Thank you, sir.
take
Thank
us
you.
to our new next performance.
So this is a lovely Kabila. I love this space. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ankita. Thank you so much, Ankita, as well. Our next performer is joining us from Noida. She is a private tutor and she loves to eat sweets, paint, and dance. Her story is a word, like it's taken from the Kahani Ek Meri Kaki by Sri Siya Ram Sharan Gupt. We love our loved ones a lot, and sometimes we don't know how to process things in life. That is how the story goes. So over to you, Shubhi, with the story Ek Door.
एक दिन शामू की नींद खुली और उसने देखा उसकी माँ जमीन पर कंबल ओढ़े लेटी हुई हैं और कुछ लोग उन्हें कहीं लेकर जाने की तैयारी कर रहे हैं। ऐसा करते देख शामू ने अपना पूरा जोर लगा दिया कि उसकी माँ को कोई कहीं ना लेकर जा सके। उसे ऐसा करते देख कुछ बड़े बूढ़ों ने समझाया कि उसकी माँ चंद दिनों के लिए मामा के पास जा रही हैं, और शामू ने यह बात मान भी ली। वो कई दिनों तक माँ के वापस आने का इंतजार करता रहा, पर माँ वापस नहीं लौटी। एक दिन खेलते खेलते कुछ बच्चों ने शामू से ये बात बोल दी कि उसकी माँ मामा के घर नहीं बल्कि अब भगवान के घर जा चुकी हैं। ये बात सुनकर शामू के आंसू नहीं रुके। वो कई दिनों तक रोता रहा। रोते रोते एक दिन जाकर छत पर बैठ गया। वहां बैठकर उसने एक पतंग को उड़ते हुए देखा। पतंग देखकर ना जाने उसके मन में क्या आया। वो दौड़ता हुआ अपने पिताजी के पास गया और उनसे एक पतंग मंगाने को कहा, पर पतंग पाने का उतावलापन इतना था कि शामू से रहा नहीं गया और उसने पिताजी के कोट में से कुछ रुपए निकाल लिए और जाकर अपने दोस्त भोला को दे दिए और उससे एक पतंग और डोर मंगाने को कहा। अगले दिन पतंग और डोर आ भी गई। दोनों बच्चे अंधेरे कमरे में बैठकर डोर को पतंग से बांधने का काम करने लगे। तब भोला ने शामू से पूछ ही लिया कि आखिर वो ये सब कर क्यों रहा है। तब शामू ने भोला को अपने दिल की बात बताई कि उसकी माँ भगवान के घर जा चुकी हैं और वो इस पतंग को उनके पास भेजेगा, जिसकी डोर को पकड़कर वो वापस उसके पास आ जाएंगी। भोला ये बात सुनकर थोड़ा हैरान हुआ, फिर कुछ सोच में पड़ गया। फिर एकदम से बोला, वो सब तो ठीक है शामू, पर ये डोर टूट गई तो? भोला की ये बात सुनकर शामू दंग रह गया और फिर कुछ सोचने लगा। फिर एकदम से बोला, ये डोर टूटनी नहीं चाहिए। जैसे वो बच्चा अपने आप को ही आशा दे रहा हो। पर यह बात शामू के मन में घर कर गई और उसे यही चिंता सताने लगी कि अब वो एक मोटी रस्सी मंगाए कहाँ से। और अपनी इस चिंता के समाधान के लिए उसने दोबारा रुख किया पिताजी के कोट का और उनके कोट में से कुछ रुपये फिर निकाल लिए। रुपये जाकर भोला को दिए और उससे एक मोटी रस्सी लाने को कहा अगले दिन रस्सी आ भी गई। दोनों बच्चे दोबारा अंधेरे कमरे में बैठकर रस्सी को पतंग से बांधने लगे। पर तभी वहां श्यामू के पिताजी आ धमके और जोर से चिल्लाकर पूछने लगे, मेरे कोट में से रुपये किसने निकाले हैं? उनकी इस आवाज को सुनकर भोला डर गया और सबक सब बोल बैठा, वो श्यामू भैया ने पतंग और डोर मंगाने के लिए निकाले थे। भोला की इस बात को सुनकर पिताजी और आग बबूला हो गए और गुस्से में उन्होंने श्यामू को 2-3 तमाचे जड़ दिए और फिर पूछने लगे, ये रस्सियां किस लिए मंगाई हैं? भोला फिर बोला, वो श्यामू भैया ने अपनी माँ को भगवान के घर से नीचे उतारने के लिए मंगाई हैं। और भोला की ये बात सुनकर पिताजी वहीं खड़े के खड़े रह गए। जब नीचे पड़ी पतंग को उन्होंने देखा तो उस पर लिखा था, मेरी माँ। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shubhi, for this very heartfelt story. Uh, Shubhi, if you had to tell us one takeaway from the workshop, what would that one takeaway be?
One thing I learned here is कि I never used to trust people basically. मुझे लगता था पूरी दुनिया बहुत धोखेबाज है, बट जब से आई हैव जॉइंड दिस कम्युनिटी, अंकित सर ने सिखाया कि you have to let your guard down. When you tell a story, even it's personal or not, लोग सुनेंगे, उसके लिए ना उसके लिए भी आपको ट्रस्ट करना पड़ेगा लोगों पे. So you have to put your guard down when you are coming to tell a story. तो मैंने एक चीज जो यहाँ से सीखी है, it is to trust people, and that's how you build a community, and like the people are very sweet. यार मैंने कभी नहीं सोचा था कि इतने सारे लोग मुझे सुनेंगे. I never thought it.
Yeah, I mean, not only listened, people also enjoyed, and it really touched them, as you can see clearly in the chat. So thank you so much, Shubhi. Thank you
I
so
also
much
want to
for.
just add something more. Shubhi, great work. आपने बहुत ही प्यारी कहानी सुनाई और आप तसल्ली से चैट में जाके जितने लोगों ने जो कुछ भी लिखा है, मुझे उम्मीद है आप वो सब पढ़े. शुभी के बारे में मैं एटलीस्ट ये ऐड करना चाहता हूँ कि शुभी का वर्क शेड्यूल बहुत ही हैवी है. कई दिनों वो 8-9 बजे घर आती थी, कई बार 10 बजे घर आती थी. उसके बाद वो खाना का इंतजाम करती थी और उसके बाद वो रिहर्सल भी करती थी और उन्होंने बहुत मेहनत की है इस कहानी के लिए. तो आज इसका रिजल्ट देख के हमें बहुत खुशी हो रही है. I think you're just giving us this sense that nothing can stop us from what we really want, isn't it? Despite such heavy work schedule, you made it, and you made it with this story so beautifully. So thank you for this work, Shubhi. Thank you so much.
Thank you for believing in me, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Pallavi, tell us where we are going next.
Yes, I'd like to now welcome our next host of the evening, Anupa.
So, from the land of our beautiful country, we now move to Japan. Our next storyteller is telling a Japanese folktale, The Boy Who Drew Cats. Do we have cat lovers here amongst all our viewers? If there are cat lovers, maybe you could send us some warm fuzzies for the little cats that you will just now hear about. About our storyteller, Mansi. She belongs to Delhi but works at the Shayadri School in Pune. She's an English teacher there. About herself, she has said that she loves to express herself in all kinds of creative ways. And one of the most amazing talents that she has is that she attracts cats everywhere and wherever she goes. The Boy Who Drew Cats by Mansi. Over to you, Mansi.
Thank you for the lovely introduction. A long, long time ago, there lived a small family of 14 children and 2 parents on a farm in Japan. All the kids were a big help to the parents, but the youngest boy called Joji, all he would do was take a stick and draw in the dirt all day long. And what did he make? Cats, cats, cats. Happy cats, sad cats, annoyed cats, crying cats, jumpy cats, dancing cats, 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 cats. He would often get scolded from his parents and was asked to stop, and the boy did try. But whenever he would see any farm cat pass by, he would draw another cat. The parents knew that the boy can never be a farmer, so they decided to take him to a temple nearby and ask the priest to help them out with it. Upon hearing the brilliant ideas and answers the boy gave, the priest happily agreed to take him in as his disciple. And from that day onwards, Joji started living at the temple. He was the most sincere and obedient student over there. But one thing he couldn't help was whenever he would see any temple cat pass by, he would grab his brush and rice paper and start drawing cats. He started drawing at the places he was not ought to, on the floors, on the walls, on the doors, in the priest's book, everywhere, till the gaze reaches, it was cats, cats, and cats. The priest got so furious, he called the boy. My dear boy, you can never be a priest. Please go back to your parents. Hearing this with a heavy heart, Joji started packing his bag. He was too scared to go back home. Didn't know what to do. Suddenly, an idea struck him. He decided to go to a temple nearby and try his luck. So he happily marched towards the temple. As he reached the temple door, he knocked. No one answered. He knocked again. Still no answer. He pushed the heavy door and went inside. It was all dark. He lit a lamp by the door and saw something that made him clap. The entire room was covered with big white blank panels. He didn't even think for a second. He grabbed his brush and started drawing the most beautiful and biggest cat he's ever drawn. It was as if his fingers were moving on their own. As he was looking at his cat, his heart was filled with joy and eyes with sleep. He was so tired. He looked around and decided to spend the night in the cabinet till the priest comes in the morning. At the middle of the night, he heard a roaring sound, followed by the struggling sound of scratching, thumping, thumping. The boy was shivering in his closet, too scared to come out and see. He decided to stay inside. After some time, everything went quiet. In the morning, as the morning sun shone on the cabinet panel, the boy gathered some courage and stepped out and saw a rat. A rat as big as a cow? How is it dead? There's no one in the room. Wait, is that blood? There's blood around the cat's claws that I made. And the head. Didn't I draw the head to the right? How is it to the left? This is also confusing. Did the cat save my life? The boy took a minute to realize that the cat did save his life. He joined his hands together in thankfulness and bowed to the cat. As the villagers got to know about it, Joji became a hero. He was invited to stay at the temple for as long as he wanted, but he didn't become a priest nor a farmer. You want to guess what he became? He remained a boy who drew. And what did he make? Cats, cats, cats.
What a lovely story, and how beautifully you said that, Mansi. Look at all the love and all the comments you're getting. So, Mansi, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Why did you choose this story?
So I chose this story because I was looking for some tales for my kids that are from different regions. So, and the moment I saw cats in the title, I'm like, okay, we have to read this one. So I read the story and I absolutely loved it because for me, it told me to, and it reminded me to keep believing in something that came naturally to me, even if it doesn't make sense to others. So I think I wanted to pass on that message to the people listening, reading this story, that if it is not making sense to others and you love to do it, please go ahead and do that.
How lovely. How lovely. And of course, because you attract cats everywhere, the story would have attracted you too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how the universe works. Cat distribution system finds you everywhere.
Lovely. Cat
Also,
distribution system.
I would just like to thank all the people for being a lovely audience, and all the people that are really close to my heart and I adore are here. So thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you once again, Mansi. Thank you so much. So we
Okay.
move on. I'm so sorry. Ah. So we move on from a cat story. We move on to a personal story. This story is about grief, about love, about life, and it's called The Window Between Us. It's written by Marilyn. Marilyn is from Bombay. She's a school teacher, teaches mid-level students. She teaches English. And growing up as a child, Marilyn loved to listen to stories from her grandmother. And going forward, Marilyn wants to continue this art, this craft of telling stories to her students and hopefully her children. The Window Between Us. Over to you, Marilyn.
That day is clearly etched in my mind. It's a little blurred, but it's there. The evening of 14th July 2007. The day my family changed forever. I was in the bedroom, playing with my sibling, my cousins, when we heard noises engulf the living room. Unpleasant noises. We rushed to the living room, and there it was. My grandmother, my Masi, sitting on the sofa and crying away. I heard my mom talking to someone on the phone. She was howling. My cousins and my sibling rushed back to the bedroom, but I stayed and watched. I kept looking for one person across the living room, across the kitchen, but I couldn't see him anywhere. And finally, my eyes landed onto the living room window. And there he was, standing on the street, tall, erect, hands behind his back, my grandfather. And at that moment, I thought, what was he thinking about? What was so important than everything that was unfolding at home? Back at home, when the women in my family gained some strength to speak, my mother finally told me. Her brother, my mama, had passed away in London. A man in his late 30s, early 40s, a heart attack on the cricket field. And this happened pretty immediately after my grandfather's retirement party. An unexpected loss for the family. My grandfather was just like any other Indian man of his generation. He was stubborn, proud, tall, important in his community. When he spoke, people would hear him. And I was the eldest granddaughter, his favorite. He had huge aspirations for me, aspirations that would include science and math, aspirations that would include and pressurize me to become a doctor. And when I took up English, moved from science to arts, he was disappointed. So much so that he wouldn't talk to me for months. My grandfather, Baba, as I called him, was a feminist, especially when it came to his daughter and his granddaughter. He was a feminist through and through. If you watch the movie Piku, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's character, yes, that was my grandfather. Stubborn, filled with conviction, and knew what he wanted for the ones he loved. I was in grade 3 when my tuition teacher, an elderly Parsi woman, called my grandfather. She wanted to complain about me. And here he comes. At the end of my tuition session, when all the children had left, he was there, standing in front of my tuition teacher to hear what she had to say. And she was a fierce woman. She spoke with authority and with a little bit of rudeness. But this man, tall, so important in everything that he does, stood there with his head down, listening to her complain about his granddaughter. On the way back, on our scooter, he wouldn't say a word to me. That is the day I learned what it truly meant to love someone. My grandfather was constant in our lives. He was more constant in my life than my parents ever were. He was the most constant with my grandmother. They married early, in their early 20s, stayed through together until their very end. Last year, when my grandmother passed away in September, my grandfather followed within a month. He chose this. He was a decisive man. He chose his death, just the way he chose everything else in life, with conviction. Men like him are rare. Men like him teach us how to carry love and care and duty in one hand and grief in the other and walk through life with dignity. Men like him exist. And that was the man I saw across the window. Thank you.
What a lovely, lovely rendition that was. And how deep it
Thank you.
is.
Thank
How
you.
deep. And like Ankit was saying, it isn't easy to share our personal stories, especially of grief, of loss. But at the
Yes.
same time, like you said, walking with conviction, love on one hand, grief in the other. So, Marilyn, I have a question. How does it
Yes.
feel for you to share such a deeply personal story with everyone in this room, in this audience?
Firstly, thank you so much to my mentor, Ankit, and the others who helped me through this journey. The reason I chose this story was I always want to carry my grandfather and my grandmother's name ahead. I want to carry their legacy ahead. There was not much that I could do when they were here. So I think telling stories and telling about them, speaking about them, is my way of showing my gratitude for everything that they've ever done for me.
Wonderful.
I also just
Wonderful.
want to come in here to add. I don't know why humans tell stories. Like, I don't know. There's so many reasons, but one is to feel more of life and also keep memories alive and people alive. when we remember our ancestors and our family members, it's a way to keep them alive with us. So perhaps that's why humans drew in the caves and told stories about their grandparents, and something we continue to do to this day. So thank you, Marilyn, for remembering your grandfather and telling the story, and in that way helping us also connect with our roots in a little bit. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you, Ankit. And yeah, we move on to our next performer who transports us to the realm of history. This story that we are going to now listen to, it's called The Other Prince. It's written and performed by Ria. Ria is a history teacher. She's an educator, a history enthusiast, an archivist, a researcher at the Shayadri School. And Ria, of course, loving history so much, has penned this piece herself, and she's going to narrate it and perform it for us now. Over to you, Ria.
The previous night, Delhi had slept with a doubt of who the next Badshah of Hindustan would be. On one side, you had the most loved, cared, the scholarly one, Dara. And on the other, the unloved, the uncared, the other prince, Aurangzeb. I know I'm not like my brothers and sisters because I don't want to be. My sister Janara, she takes all the glory for building the Chandni Chowk. And my brother Dara, well, he hides behind his books. They can't see that they spend all the money on Mughal treasury, on drinking wine, on looking at Nautch girls. But only I can hear the sound of the British Empire marching towards us. And when I become the Badshah of Hindustan, I will make sure that I will strengthen the army and take the Mughal Empire to its greatest ever heights it had ever reached. Well, what did he say? That he's going to be the future Badshah of Hindustan. Let's see about that. I can see that all he does is look at treasury and land and army. But he doesn't realize that it is not through land and war that an empire becomes glorious. It is through art, culture, literature, and architecture that one is to be remembered and to be glorious. You might not know that he, Aurangzeb, is an accomplished Veena player. And he's banned music in his empire. Delhi was now waking up to a question. The war of words had now turned into a real war, where all the brothers, including Dara Shikoh, had perished, making Aurangzeb the future Badshah of Hindustan. He conquered everywhere from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and had brought back the rule of law. But at the end and at the peak of his rule, he saw that it was all crumbling because he could not find an able successor to take forward his empire. He found the kind of successors that those are the kind of men that he actually hated the most. Unlike his predecessors, he never built grand monuments to be remembered with, let alone a grave that hardly had a roof. At the end of his life, when he was being painted, people would often say that he looked down in his paintings, as if he was turning away from the world. Thank you.
So well said, Riya. Painting a picture of a sad Aurangzeb. Look at all those hearts. Lovely. So, Riya, how does storytelling and history teaching weave into each other?
I think the reason that I wanted to be part of this workshop is there are two reasons. One was Swati Akka, who had constantly urged me that I really need to be a part of this. And second was because I think history only can become interesting through storytelling. I've come to that conclusion after 3 years of teaching the subject. When you really you want to get a hold of your students, you can only when you start with a story and end with it, only then you can make it less boring according to them. That's what they've told me. So when I use storytelling in history, I think it really does wonders. Yeah, so that's how I think, and it's a very integral part of, yeah, teaching storytelling.
Lovely. Lovely, Riya.
I also just want to acknowledge Ria's incredible work on this story because she wrote the story herself. Writing something based on
With your
history
help.
is not easy. It's not easy at all. And the last 2 weeks, there have been at least two, three times when she wrote the entire piece and we chucked it and we we started writing again, and the draft that she has performed just now, that got written 10 in the night yesterday, and yet she was able to come here and present the whole story. I think you have done incredible work, Ria. I would love a big round of applause for Ria. It also just establishes that stories are not just fairy tales and folk tales, which are a great body of work in themselves, but history in itself gives us such rich insights to build stories upon, to build perspectives upon. So thank you for this work, Rian. I really look forward to Sahyadri School and the students listening to this story from you. So all the best for that.
Thank you, everyone.
We have
Thank
just digested 6 stories. It's a lot
yes.
to take in one sitting. So, why don't we take a very short break of 3 minutes and then we will come back? But on the other side of the break is a young girl waiting with the true personal stories. And not just that, we heard about cats. There are more cats waiting, not just small cats, but big cats or huge cats. And so a lot of more tigers coming on the other side of the break. Let's all take a very short break, 3 minutes, and then we come back again. Thank you, Anupa. Thank you, Pallavi. 3 minutes of break. It's 4:52 in my clock. We come again at 4:55. 3 minutes of break. We need to do exactly what Bharat is doing. The yawning and the walking and a little bit of movement would really help us. Thank you. If we can hear my voice, we can start to come back to our screens. And there are many, many more stories waiting for us. Pallavi, can you take us ahead?
Yes, thank you so much, everybody, for joining back. We have a bunch of stories coming up. The first one, the next storyteller is joining us from Indonesia. She's studying in Bangalore, but she's currently in Indonesia. And Satyavati is here. She tends to snort when she laughs. She's a student, and she's going to narrate the third true person story of the evening. And sometimes in life we tend to be confused about things and we don't know what to do. Now, how do we deal with that confusion is what Satyavati will share with us. So the next voice you'll hear will be Satyavati with the story called The Myth of a Reverse Engineered Life. So over to you, Satyavati.
I'm 20 years old and I'm doing a double major because I thought that doing one was not good enough. And I think this feeling of not being good enough has been with me for a really long time. I grew up at a boarding school where I was the only girl in my class for 2 whole years, often feeling isolated and sometimes being told that I'm mean and rude. I started to view myself in complete black and white. It was either extreme confidence in myself that I know better than everyone else, or complete lack of any intrinsic self-worth. I don't come from the most stable of homes. And I think that kids who maybe don't come from so much stability and from chaos tend to either completely despise the idea of a family or deeply desire it. My biggest dream in life is to one day have a home filled with the laughter and tantrums of my kids, and to be with a partner with whom I can sulk and fight. Because I think those moments after resolving a fight are so fulfilling and show the real strength of that relationship. But I am kind of very embarrassed to say this out loud to you because I feel like an oddball. This is not a dream shared by many of my peers. I am not someone who's very comfortable with myself. I'm not someone who's completely comfortable with my dreams either. So I thought I should do what others are doing and what I thought society maybe expects out of me. But that was very confusing and conflicting. You are young only once. What does that even, that means two very different things. On one hand, this is the time to have adventures, this is the time to make mistakes, fall on your face, get back up. That sounds insane to me. On the other, grind now, focus now, work hard so that tomorrow will be better. That seemed like the much safer choice. The promise of something becoming better tomorrow made today's misery feel bearable. It was okay. I thought that if I work hard and really, really work hard as much as it takes, that maybe there's this a lot of hope in this, that maybe I will finally feel enough, that I would have earned my right in some way to speak, that I would have earned my right to probably even feel loved. So I set certain goals for myself. I said that, okay, by year 1, 2, and 3, I need to get X, Y, and Z done. And I saw this as the only way. I didn't think I could waver from these. I thought that if even one of these steps were not taken, my entire life would fall down in a huge domino effect. My professor pointed out to me that I was actually trying to control so many things which were never in my hands to even begin with. And I was becoming miserable from all of this because my expectations were so high to begin with, and the outcomes never matched my expectations, regardless of how much effort I put or how much effort I didn't put in. because it was a lot of pressure to perform, a lot of pressure to be perfect, because each step mattered so much in my mind. Only recently, a month or so ago, I realized that just maybe, I wrongly equated doing this to getting something out of life when both of them had maybe no connection at all. I always lived with this disease of sorts, a disease of tomorrow, 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 never in the moment. Let me give you an example. Picture this. A 16-year-old 11th grader trying to figure out which university she wants to go to, which course she wants to apply for. And she's looking at countries which offer the longest maternity leave of all things in this world, because one day she might find someone there and might want to settle down there and would love to have the time to raise this family of her dreams. That is the kind of steps I was thinking of for every decision I took. This is a very hard way to live life now, thinking back in hindsight, because I was trying to make myself accountable for things that are not in my control at all. So much responsibility, which made me shrink and feel smaller and put a lot of pressure to be perfect, which was very difficult. A mentor of mine made me realize that the best way to beat a strong feeling like this is to not wish for it to completely disappear, but to admit that it exists in the same room as me. This feeling of wanting to neurotically, obsessively control life, endless to-do lists, endless sticky notes and reminders, they're still very much a part of me, but they now no longer dictate my story. I've come to realize that certainty, which I thought was my comfort zone, is actually way scarier. Saying I know is probably way scarier than maybe admitting I don't. I am still trying to learn to be okay with saying something like I don't know what's going to happen. But that seems like a much better choice. I don't know. I don't know.
Thank you so much, Satyavati. Uh, Thank you so much for that story. Thank you so much for sharing.
It feels like there was
I
a weight on you that has just gone off now that you have said it out loud.
Yes, yes.
You should check yourself in a weighing machine. It's gonna be a few kilos, a few kilos less. Yeah. How does it feel to finally get the story out of you?
Really, really. I was very nervous to say this, but I think one thing I want to share is it became a joke almost in all the rehearsals. The more I rehearsed, the more unsure I became of sharing this with everyone. And every day I would ask, should I share this? And Ankit and everyone else kept reaffirming me that I should, with a lot of patience. And I'll never forget that kindness. Yeah. And I'm so glad to see a lot of my mentors are actually here. And surprisingly, even Sunanda Akka is here. I'm so happy to see them and my parents. Yeah.
So this is a very interwoven world. Satyavati happens to be a student of a lot of teachers who've also been our learners and are our mentors now. So just want to name, there is Ambika here, there is Swati ji here, there is Sunanda ji here, and all of these have been leaders and teachers in a school where Satyavati has actually grown up studying. So it feels like a
Even
reunion of
Viraj Bhai
sorts.
is here. But
Yeah. Anything, any of our teachers want to speak, maybe, perhaps? Swati ji, Ambika ji, Sunanda ji.
Let's Akka, Sunanda Akka and Viraj say something.
Yeah,
My internet connection is not okay. Can you hear me?
we can.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Mm.
No, Satyavati, I think it's extremely extraordinary that you decided to share your story. And I don't know how many people would benefit from this.
Yes.
I think many people would get courage to share their own personal stories, because very often we hesitate. We hesitate to, even admit our failings. And then you actually said, I made mistakes.
Yeah.
And now I'm happy making mistakes. So that's amazing. Thank you so much.
That's true.
Thank you, Akka. Ah,
Viraj, where are you? Speak up.
sorry, I missed a name. Even Amna Akka is here.
Yeah.
So any of her teachers who also want to speak, just to an old student telling a story. Okay, 3 seconds more. 2, 1, your time is up. So now you'll have to send your wishes by the chat. Just want to thank Satyavati for this good work she has done. She's worked really hard in the last 2 weeks at least, working on the same story over and over. Initially, the story was this short, and then she changed it to this long, and then we cut it short, and this constant changing kept happening. But she was patient enough and she worked very hard on this story. So thank you for this work, Satyavati. And
Thank you.
now I would like to welcome our next host who will be taking us ahead, Shweta. Welcome.
Thank you, Ankit. Welcome. And I'm so happy about hearing all these stories, and I'm sure all of you are enjoying it so far. And we have our next storyteller come to us from Delhi. So she has been an English teacher over the past 11 years, guiding 9th and 10th grade students. And her love for language and stories and expression has brought her here. And the story that she's chosen today is a favorite story for a lot of us. And she's gonna take us to Neverland, a place where magic happens. She chose this story because her 3-year-old daughter loves this. Therefore, it's just not a story, but a story she probably tells her daughter every day. And here we have Neha. Over to you, Neha. We're all excited to go with you to Neverland.
Have you heard about Neverland? Have you heard about Peter Pan? Where the children never have to grow up. Where the children never have to grow up. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Wendy. Her mother always told her the stories about Peter Pan. She loved Peter Pan. She was mad about Peter Pan. So every night she asked her mother not to close the window so that the Peter Pan could come. And one night when she was about to sleep, Peter Pan came. She heard a noise. Peter Pan, is that you? She couldn't believe her eyes. Could you please take me to your land? And Peter Pan, on her urge, just sprinkled the pixie dust on her and they flew to Neverland. After a long flight, when they arrived Neverland, they saw the mermaids, the lagoons, the wild animals. The lost boys were too. And among them all, the most dangerous was Captain Hook. Peter Pan had only two enemies. Captain Hook had only two enemies. One is Peter Pan and the other is Hungry Crocodile. That was because once they were fighting, Peter Pan cut his hand and that fell into the mouth of Hungry Crocodile. From then, he followed both of them. And when the Captain Hook saw that the Peter Pan was coming with Wendy, he ordered his pirate, just fire the cannon. And it's very hard for Peter Pan to save Wendy. So he asked Tinkerbell to take her away on another ship. And Peter Pan and Hook fought very badly on the deck until the cook lost his balance and just fell into the mouth of Hungry Crocodile. Finally, Peter Pan saved Wendy. And say goodbye to Wendy and send her back safely to her home. But since then, Wendy always kept her window open so that in a hope that one day the Peter Pan may come again. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha, for this lovely story. And we all had a quick glimpse of Neverland. And I'm sure these characters are all our favorite childhood characters. Thank you so much for bringing us this story. And I would love to hear from you. How was your experience over the last 3 months working towards the storytelling from there till your performance today?
Yeah, I had a lovely experience and it was a wonderful journey. Ankit, our co-learners, all the mentors worked really very hard to, for this day. And like stories have always been a part of my life. But actually, what I felt, I'm feeling that Ankit has opened another window for me to see the stories in another way, to give life to stories, actually. The feeling, emotions. Being a literature student and a teacher, I'm always being surrounded by stories. But thank you, Ankit. You have given me this opportunity, and thank you, audience, and all. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Neha. Thank you so much. All right. So now we are going to go to another country. Close your eyes and imagine Vietnam. Busy morning markets, the smell of fresh bread, and stories everywhere in the street. So we have a storyteller from Tamil Nadu. So she is a primary teacher, and her love for children and storytelling has led her through this journey and brought us here. So we have Grace with us, and she is going to tell us a story called The Tiger's Delicious Treats. It's a story about a baker and a very unusual problem that you wouldn't expect. And we're going to hear it from her and see how the story unfolds. Over to you, Grace.
Thank you, Shweta. In a luscious green forest lives a tiger who loves to bake. One day, he bakes some delicious green bean pies. He loads them on his cart and takes it to sell them across the stream. The aroma of the green bean pies spread everywhere across the stream. The tiger waited and waited. But nobody has bought his pies. So he returned back home discouraged. That night he ate all the green bean pies, thinking that nobody likes green peas. So the next day he decided to bake some banana pies. He loaded them on his cart and takes it to sell them under an ancient tree. The aroma of the delicious banana pies went up, up, up in the air. But still, nobody has bought his pies. So he returned back home disappointed. The next day, he baked some sweet potato pies, loaded them on his cart, and takes it straight to the meadow. But still, nobody has bought his pies. He was sadder than ever. So he decided to go home. On his way back home, he heard the animals talking. The deer said, "The aroma from the tiger's cart was delicious." And the monkey said, "I wish I would buy one from the tiger." And the pig said, But we're all afraid of the tiger." Upon hearing this, the tiger had an idea. So the next day he baked 3 batches of pies and loaded them on his biggest cart. He rolled himself on the floor, cut on his claws, and wore a pair of long pink ears. And now the tiger looked like a bunny. He quickly rode his car to the grassy knoll. Soon he heard someone calling, We would like to buy your pies. The tiger was surprised. When he turned back, he saw 3 tigers approaching him. One with a big nose and big ears, and the other with long arms, and the other with a pair of antlers. The tiger at once recognized the pig, the deer, and the monkey. And the other 3 also recognized the tiger, and they burst out laughing. From then, nobody was afraid of the tiger. Soon, the tiger's bakery became the favorite place for everybody in the forest.
Thank you, Grace, for bringing us the story. And this is a very happy story. And unusual problems can also be solved when we responded with calmness and kindness, I guess. So this was a very nice story. Thank you, Grace. And we really loved it. So I have a question for you. So you have been telling stories before. So how is it now from performing earlier and performing now? So what do you see? What would you like to tell us about the change or the difference?
Yeah. Initially, I just, being a primary school teacher, we used to tell stories to a lot of kids. But the techniques, and, not exactly as techniques, but then there are certain ways which I learned through this over this course. And special thanks to Ankit sir for this, wonderful teaching. And and I would like to thank my brother-in-law who's here, who's been a part. He was the one who wanted me to pursue this. Thank you, Joshua Anna, for that. And above all, great thanks to the Lord Almighty for giving me this wonderful opportunity and such a loving community where every time I wanted to practice, there were people around, Yashis, Latika, everybody, where they took a lot of time to listen to me again and again. And thank you so much for all those things. And I learned certain, ways to modify things during my storytelling sessions. Thank you for that, Ankit.
So thank you, Grace. Your presence itself is very charming. You came into the screen and started to smile, and I thought half of the story was that's where it elevated itself. So yeah, thank you for your presence, Grace. And I remember what she just mentioned. I think a family member of hers actually called me before the course, saying that a family member of mine would really love to do this course, and it's good to see you both here today, you as a learner and them as a person who has been your cheerleader. Yeah, thank you, Joshua, for that. And thank you so much, Grace, for telling this sweet little warm story. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right. Pallavi, are you the one taking us ahead?
From Panakpur, Himachal Pradesh. He is a maths teacher, and to quote him, जब से होश संभाला है तब से पढ़ा रहे हैं भरत. Bharat is going to present a story of selfless love, love that keeps giving and love that does not ask for anything in return. The next words you'll hear will be from Bharat, presenting the story of The Giving Tree, written by Shel Silverstein. Over to you, Bharat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pallavi. So, The Giving Tree. Once there was a tree, a huge big tree, and there was a boy. The boy loved the tree, and the tree loved the boy. The boy used to come running towards the tree and used to climb the tree, used to hug the tree and swing from the branches. He also had put a jhula. He used to do the swing with his friends, and he also used to play under the tree, under the sun, and sometimes when it was raining, he also used to play there. And it was a lot of fun, joy. I mean, it kind of a sanctuary. The boy had a sanctuary below the tree. And those were the joyous day. And those were the very playful day. And the tree was happy. And the day passed, and the boy grew older. And for a long time, the boy didn't come. And the tree was alone and sad. But one day, the boy appeared. And The tree said, "Come, boy, come. Climb my trunk, swing my branches, play under me, eat my fruits." The boy said, "I'm too old to do this. I want to purchase some things, to have fun. I need money for that. Can you give me some money?" The tree said, "I don't have money, but you can do one thing. You can pick my fruits and sell in the city and have some money." And the boy did so. Again, a long time passed, the boy didn't appear, and the tree was sad. And after some days, some years passed, the boy appeared, and he said, the tree said, "Come, boy, come, eat my fruits, play under my shade, and have fun." The boy said, "I am too old to do this. I want to marry. I want to have a family. I want to have a house for that. I need a house. Can you give me a house?" The tree said, "I don't have a house. The forest is my house. But you can do one thing. You can cut my branches and make a house of that." And the boy did so. Again, a long time passed. The boy didn't appear, and the tree was sad. And one day, suddenly, the boy appeared, and the tree again said, "Come, boy, come, sit under my shade and eat my fruits and have fun." The boy said, "I am too old and busy to do this. I have family. I have my children. I have my wife. My children need education. My children need a lot of things. I need money for that. I want to do a business. I want to go abroad. I need a boat for that. Can you give me a boat?" The tree said, "I don't have a boat. But you can do one thing. You can cut my trunk and make a boat of that and sail away and do your business." And the boy did so. Again, the boy didn't appear for a long, long time. And it was a very long time earlier than the durations we have seen. And one day the boy appeared, and the boy was very, very old. And the tree said, "Come, boy, come. But I don't have, the tree said, "I don't have fruits. I don't have branches. I don't have anything to give you." The boy said, "I am too old. I have grown old. I don't have teeth. I don't have that strength to climb and play. I just need a space to sit." The tree said, "I am just a stump now, but you can sit over me." And the boy did so, and the tree was happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bharat. There's a lot of effort that goes into preparing for these storytelling sessions. And thank you so much for sharing the Giving Tree with us. To our audience members, if you are curious to read more, there's a parody. You can look up "The Tree Who Set Healthy Boundaries," which is a take on the Giving Tree. And it's a quite interesting read if you want to look it up. Bharat, you're a maths teacher, right? And आपसे question था कि how do you see maths, education, and storytelling coming together? Do you see it coming together? If you do, how?
Pardon, can you repeat the question?
Pallavi, just want to add that your voice is coming through a device in a way that is not very clearly audible.
Okay. Is it better now? One second.
That's okay. But I think, Bharat, what she's asking is, you're a math teacher, and we imagine stories as something usually a lot of people think it's literature people who do it. How do you see storytelling? That's what she's asking.
So for me, that story is the meat that integrate the concept, because mathematicians has this habit of abstracting the ideas, and the people think that it is dead subject, then kind of they don't see the juice there, because everything is formula and just concepts and theorems. But when you see the story behind it, how you have done that, what was going through that. For example, look at calculus or look at Pythagoras theorem. But if you see the story, how the people were doing their daily life, what were their challenges, and then you begin to realize the importance of that concept. You don't have to rote learn or remember that. Yeah.
Thank you. You sound like a very loving teacher, Bharat, and that is very good to see. Bharat also leads quite an experimental life. He lives in Palampur, which is a place in Himachal, and he teaches maths in local learning centers and also online. So if you are curious about maths, if you want to make your children curious about maths, why not have him as a maths teacher? He continues to run courses for parents and children. Bharat, anything about that? Maybe we have a lot of
Yeah,
parents.
I do math camps also. Winter maths camp is going on. I mean, this 25, 26, 27. Then summer maths camp. And I do math sessions with parents and teachers. I do maths sessions with the primary kids. I do math sessions for higher secondary, senior secondary kids also. Also, people who are doing different exams, or just anybody who just want to explore the maths again, because a lot of people don't have a very, I mean, kind of strange experience with maths, very, I mean, maybe I can say traumatic maybe, but just want to explore the maths with a joy and pleasure, new things want to learn, then yeah, I'm there.
Yep. Good to see you there, and thank you for this
Yeah.
story, Bharat. I would like to invite our hosts now once again to take us to the next story.
Yes. All right. Have you ever had a day where everything goes wrong from the moment you get up and everything keeps getting worse? So that's exactly the next story is. And we have with us Sheetal. So she works with adolescent children and she's an English teacher too. So she brings to us the story of Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And so over to you, Sheetal. So let's see how is Alexander's day going to be.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shweta. Okay, so have you ever heard about Alex? No? Hear me out. Okay, so Alex was a 7-year-old boy who slept with gum in his mouth one Wednesday night. And then there was gum in his hair. Ew, disgusting. How could I do that? As he was breathing in with that thought, suddenly he heard his mother screaming, Alex, where are you? We are already late for breakfast. With that big breath, he rushed to the breakfast table and then he skidded. Dhram. Oh my God, a bump in his head, a bad day. What a rough morning. I'm going to have a horrible, terrible, very bad day. Anyways, he walked towards the breakfast table with getting his breath back. Just to see, no luck here also. Both his brothers had toys in their cereal box. And what did Alex have? Only cereal. I think so. I'm going to move to Australia. Now, okay, I hope school gets me better luck. With a heavy heart and more than that, a heavy bag, Alex sat down to go to school. In the carpool, he gets the middle seat where he's squished and scrammed and sandwiched. Oh my God, I can't have a worse morning than this. Anyways, he reached school just hoping that school will get him better luck. First lesson was a music lesson. Alex had really worked on all his music notes just to impress all the beautiful girls around so that his luck comes back, the lady luck comes back. So the teacher said, okay, Alex, you can start. And Alex started. La 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 la. And the teacher was jumped in. She said, Alex, this is a singing class, not a screaming class. You'll make me deaf. Please go and practice your notes again. Very sadly, Alex said, yes, teacher. That's what students can do. Yes, teacher. And walked very slowly just to go to the math class. Now he knows math is his favorite subject and math he's good at. So let's try the luck here. In the math class, he was using his whisper voice just to count numbers. And he goes 1, 2, 3, just to reach 50. But Mr. Brown, the math teacher, The Mr. Brown, the naughty math teacher, said, Alex, you've forgotten 16. You've forgotten 16? 16? Who needs 16? I need my voice back. The singing teacher told me to have a whisper voice. Now you're saying I forgot 16? What the morning, what a day. I don't know. I want to have a good lunch. I think so. I'm going to go to Australia. Anyways, he was excited for a lunch so that he eats a delicious, mouth-watering lunch. I hope Mama has packed something nice. So at the lunch table, he sits with all his friends just to see. Phil Parker had 2 cupcakes and Daisy had a chocolate bar with sprinkles on it. And guess what? Alex has a platter of colorful veggies and salads. 5 food groups, 5 food groups. Mama said 5 food groups every day in a day will make you smarter. But no, Mama, you're wrong. It's making my day worse. How could you do that? You forgot to pack dessert for me? No luck here also. Anyways, school ended and Alex was excited because Mama said she might buy him a new shoes. So he reached the shoe shop just to realize the shoe man saying, sorry, your size is sold out. No shoes for you. Next was the dentist appointment, which was there. And the dentist, as polished and poised she was, with a big smile, I think so she brushes all the day. That's what she does. Said, you have a big hole in the last jaw, in the upper jaw, and I need to fix it. Alex, fix it? Next week, I'm going to Australia. I don't want to stay here. So right after, from day to afternoon, Alex was having a series of bad days, bad events. He said, I want to go home, Mama. I want to go home and just finish this day. Mama took him home. He said, I want to have a hot water bath and just eat a good dinner and sleep. But the bath also didn't help. It was a cold water bath. The shower didn't work. And for dinner, he had paneer. Who eats paneer? And there was kissing on the television. I hate kissing. I don't want to do this. And very, very sadly, he walked towards his bed. No dinner, no breakfast, no lunch. Poor guy. And as he sat on the bed, he said, I want to go to Australia. The mother came very gently, as all mothers are, at the end of the day to hold his hand and said, some days are just like that, even in Australia.
Thank you, Sheetal, for bringing to us one of Alex's hardest days. And I think it reminds us of our hard days too, and how a small moment of being understood, and then someone tells you, hey, it's just a bad day, not a bad life. So
Yes.
that was a very good story, and I think a good takeaway for all of us. Thank you so much for narrating this to us.
Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sheetal, you've done storytelling before. So how was your teacher tells tale experience?
So yeah, I've been teaching for many, many years, donkey's years, I think so. But the thing is, Ankit and all the mentors out here have taught me different elements of story and how to get it together. And, usually we do read alouds in school because we don't have a lot of time constraint. But here, just to concise the story in your own words, it's been a beautiful learning journey. Ankit has really been patient because I was in and out of sessions, too many things back end. But thank you for that, for giving me this opportunity to get some more confidence in this world of stories.
Yesterday was one such day. A lot of us were having network issues. A lot of us having life issues. And it seemed a lot of us will be moving to Australia. So thank God that didn't happen. And a lot of us are here. Almost all of us are here. So that is good to see. How do you feel, Sheetal, now that you have told this story and people got it? And you must see the reaction later and you must read the chat.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love for you.
Just because I chose this story is because of, how children are becoming less and less resilient. I'm also practicing counseling with adults and adolescents and how children give up. So the most important part for parents and teachers is, just to be there and make them more resilient towards life, towards daily routines, because everybody has a bad day. But then if your mental well-being is there, you've been practicing it, hard days are easier. That was the thought behind the story.
Yeah, I think you said something very beautiful, actually. We are wondering about the role of teachers, isn't it? If we can find all the information on the internet, why do we need teachers? And you just mentioned it very casually. To be there, to just be there and present in children's lives, to see children and to make children feel seen. I think that is such an important thing. And also, just another thing that you mentioned, I think we all need reminders, isn't it? We, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah, in
I mean,
between you
all
got
of us
stuck, now you can.
know of our gifts and our power and our beauty, and yet on a hard day, we forget all of it. We look in the mirror and we feel like, what's happening to the hair? And we open a book and we feel like, what happened to all my smartness? And yeah, we all need sometimes a reminder coming from our loved ones.
And this platform is a great place, Ankit. You have done a great job in making this kind of a platform where everybody's so comfortable. And as you said, it's all family. If you goof up, if you make mistakes, it's okay. It's just a learning journey. And thanks to you and your team who have done a great, amazing job to make us so comfortable.
Yeah, we don't have the opportunity to move to Australia, so we have to make our life better.
India's best,
Yes.
regardless. India's the best.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sheetal. Thank you. Also, just wanted to acknowledge that Sheetal had a major exam on 17th. So she really had to find time in the mornings, in the night, and she squeezed in a lot of practice time to be able to make it here. So I'm very proud of you, Sheetal, and really good work. Thank you. Hosts, what are we seeing next?
Yes. So our next storyteller is from Pune. So we have Anantita with us. So she's a science mentor with over 25 years of experience, and I think a true lifelong learner, someone who believes that curiosity never retires. And she brings to us a very special story. In India, we say Aditi Devo Bhava, so where we treat our guests like God. So this story is about unexpected guests, and no matter when they arrive, who they are, and whatever happens, we try to keep a place for our guests, make sure they are happy. So this is exactly that same spirit. The story is The Tiger Who Came to Tea, a story that reminds us that no matter the time or the day or who they are, we treat our guests well. So over to you, Anantita, and we are very excited to hear about your story.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Sophie. She was sitting with her mommy in the kitchen for their tea. They had bread and biscuits and a lovely cake too. Suddenly then, the doorbell rang. Ting tong, ting tong. Mommy wondered who that can be. In the meantime, Sophie rushed and opened the door. There was a big, furry, stripy tiger on the doormat. Tiger said, "Excuse me, I am hungry. Can I come in to have some tea with you?" Sophie's mommy said, yes, Tiger, please come in. So the tiger went straight to the kitchen and sat on the table. Sophie offered a sandwich to the tiger. The tiger just didn't have one. It took the whole plate of sandwich and swallowed it in one mouthful. Delicious. Sophie's mom then offered a bun. The tiger again took the whole tray of bun and had all of them in one go. Then it saw here and there on the table and ate all the biscuit and the full cake too. The tiger was very hungry still. So Sophie asked, would you like to have some drink? The tiger picked up the jar of milk, goom, 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 and it drank the whole milk. Then it took the pot of tea and drank all the tea. It drank daddy's drink, and even it drank all the water that ran from the tap till it became dry. Imagine who can do this. Maybe the tiger can. The tiger then looked to the right, left, and saw the shelf. It ate all the vegetables and the fruit there. Then it looked towards the right and saw the fridge, and from the fridge ate all the chicken and the egg and the cheese. Finally, the tiger said, it's time for me to go. Thank you for the nice tea. Bye-bye. Sophie's mommy. Yes, tiger. Bye-bye. The tiger left. Sophie and mommy looked at each other, worried because they had nothing left in the house for supper that night. Then, right at that moment, Dad arrived. Hey, la 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 la. He had the key, so he did not ring the bell. And immediately, Sophie and mommy ran and narrated what had happened, how the tiger had eaten all the food and drank all the drink in the house. But Daddy was not worried. He said, well, I have a good idea. Wear your dress and we will go to the nearby cafe and have some good dinner tonight. They all went to the nearby cafe and enjoyed tummy full of food and returned back happily. Next morning, Sophie and mommy went to the supermarket and brought their favorite food, and with that, they brought a big tin of tiger food. But the tiger never came again.
Thank you, Anantita, for this lovely story. Imagine a tiger at your door, and this is just like that a great story, and how Dad's calmness just like that changed that evening, and how they waited for the tiger to come back. Thank you so much for sharing this story, Anantita.
How do you feel, Anandita?
I'm feeling very happy and at the same time very relaxed. And I had total fun narrating it to you all.
Yeah. Just a bit about Anandita. She was a learner with us in the last season, and right on the day of her performance, she fell terribly ill and she had to drop out of the performance and she had to wait 3 long months. It was exactly on 21st of September when she was supposed to perform, and it's 21st of December when she's come again with us to perform this story. So very happy and very proud of you, Anandita. You want to tell us anything about your work? What do you do? What do you want to do?
I am a science mentor from last 25 years. And I knew the power of stories as a pedagogy of teaching science. But with the skills that I honed in this workshop, I think I will be able to do more justice to the stories I narrate in class. And this workshop is just wonderful. I would recommend it to every teacher because Ankit is such a passionate and dedicated mentor. And I am grateful to the universe to have him. And a lovely community to support me and cheer me always. Thank you so much. And thank you, audience, for being such a patient listener to me. Thank you so much.
All right, that brings us to another 6 more stories that are here for us to digest a little bit. So maybe we just need a very short tea break. make sure you're making the tea, keep your doors closed. There might be tigers waiting for you. So have a very quick 5 minute break, and then we can come back and listen to more stories. There are six more stories waiting for us, three in Hindi, one in Marathi, and two in English. Well, on the other side is a story coming from mythology, and many more coming from literature and the kind of books that the girl hated. And so please come back after the break and we'll hear the rest of the story. Thank you, all the storytellers and all the audience. It's 5:46 in my clock. We meet again at 5:51. 5 minutes of break.
Hello, hello, hello. Could we have cameras on? Also, if I'm audible, I know I had issues earlier. Could you correct it?
No, you're
Yes.
sounding great now, Pallavi.
Okay, thank you so much. Moving on with our last set of stories for the evening, we would first start off with the story of gods and goddesses. The story is from the Mayan civilization and it is still relevant even now. But before we tell the story, I will take a couple of seconds to introduce the storyteller. The storyteller is Anjali, Anjali Pujari. She is an interdisciplinary artist. She's living in the Western Ghats for the past 5 years. Also, I hope you don't mind me. I'm looking down because she's done so much work. I had to look at notes. She's been living in the Western Ghats the past 5 years. And right now, she's in the Sharavati Valley Wildlife Sanctuary in Shimoga, Karnataka. She's a nature educator. And in her own words, she's head over heels about insects. And on that note, she also makes very intricate chalk carvings of indigenous and endangered insects, where she examines fragility, temporality, and presence. There is so much more that I would like to share about Anjali, but we'll first hear the story, which is the myth of the moon goddess from Anjali first, and then we'll get to know more about her work. Anjali, over to you, the myth of the moon goddess.
Before the sky learned distance, before the moon learned how to pull the sea, before the light and darkness decided to live apart, there was a time when the gods watched insects and learned from them. And in one such time, the moon goddess Ishel lived very close to the earth. She noticed a spider at work. She could learn a skill or two, she thought. And upon careful observation and imitation, she soon became a skilled weaver of the constellations in the night sky. The sun lord Kinichahu was impressed by her work and admired her from afar. But the moon goddess's grandfather was a very possessive old man and made sure that no one lingered around his granddaughter, not even the sun lord. So, to get past the grandfather, he transformed himself into a tiny, beautiful hummingbird. So, as he took a sip from the honey dipped flower in their garden, the moon goddess spotted him and asked her grandfather to capture the bird for her. In no time, the grandfather shot right at the sun lord with a blow dart, leaving him completely stunned. The poor hummingbird was all injured and weak and wounded. And the moon goddess picked him up, nurtured and healed him in the next couple of days. And eventually, the bird was able to spread its wings and fly in the sky and transformed back into the sun lord. And he invited the moon goddess to escape with him, and she happily agreed. So, as the two rode deep away in the canoe, away from the night sky, the grandfather had already called upon the powerful storm lord for help. And sensing danger in her heart, she jumped right into the water, transformed herself into a crab. But it was too late because the storm lord had already thrown his powerful lightning bolt, which hit the crab, pierced through her heart, and killed her. Silence grew louder and louder on the earth and up in the sky. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dragonflies gathered. They buzzed their sacred songs, fluttered their transparent wings, and created a magical thick coat on top of the moon goddess's body. And for 13 days, the dragonflies cut, hollowed, and cleaned 13 different logs. And on the 13th night, the logs burst open and the moon goddess emerged, alive and brilliant as never before. But she had changed. Though the sun rushed towards her with all his light and longing, she somehow started remembering death and understood that maybe, just maybe, light cannot always protect you. And sometimes closeness can burn. So she consciously moved away, far away from the sun lord,
And she returned back to the night sky in the darkness all by herself, not in anger, but through her memory. And what followed was not separation, but a story of waiting and longing. And that is why the moon shines all alone in the distance now, crossing the sky, making sure she doesn't touch the sun. A reminder for all of us that sometimes not all stories end in union. Sometimes they have to end in space.
Thank you so much, Anjali. Uh, a lot of very clean movements in your narration, which kept us very engaged throughout. And could you tell us a bit more about the work that you do in terms of you bridge classrooms and communities and ecosystems and environment, and then you also work with movement, and there's a lot of art that you create, and all of that, plus how does storytelling fit into all of this?
Firstly, I would like to say thank you to Ankit, Pallavi, and everyone here because I am out of my comfort zone. This is not where I like to be. I love to be a listener in such spaces. So thank you for providing that opportunity and space. And coming back to your question, Pallavi, I feel like there are so many hidden stories all around us. So when I sculpt a chalk piece and when I hold a chalk piece, I find stories in it. And I sculpt those stories out. And when I play my instruments or when I'm, even wandering in the forest floor, I love having a dialogue in the silence through the non-verbal communications and language around me. And I feel like it's important to listen because there's so much out there around us that's constantly speaking to us, and we forget to listen. And I think that's what urges me to just connect all the dots and make sense of whatever I'm interested in. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far, and I'm just trying my best to make sense of things around me.
Thank you, Anjali. I think you brought a lot of grace to this evening with your performance, and this was the only stories coming from the myths. So thank you for bringing in that mix. And I also think your presence in the course was also this way. You brought very different colors to the palette that we already have. We have a lot of teachers with us, but we also have a lot of artists, a lot of social workers, homemakers, and I think your presence really brought in a lot of those artistic elements with you, nature as well. Um, I actually want to ask, is there something you don't love? Because in your work, we see music and she works with soundscapes and we see movement. She works with movement and she's a founder of Khadika. And I would want you absolutely to talk about.
I do. Yeah, I think there are a lot of things that I enjoy doing that I hardly find anything that I hate, but the things that I hate are it's I think it's related to a lot of my ethical values strongly that I hold on to my ethics and values, and I think when something in those spaces are disrupted, that is when I become very distressed and upset. And I think that from that space is where hate is born. I would like to put it that way. And Khadika is a small initiative that I had started when I was in school. I'm also a micro artist. I sculpt chalk pieces, and it's been 14 years since I've been sculpting chalk pieces, and I carve very specific insects. It's usually butterflies, moths, dragonflies, and cicadas. And I try to carve the native species of India, majorly South India and Western Ghats, where I am staying right now. And yeah, I've been trying to bridge the insect ecology through the fragile form of art, movement, and soundscapes to people. So I think I'm in that. I love things that help me transition one thing to another. So that is where probably I found my sanity and safe space in. So yeah.
Thank you, Anjali. As you were speaking, I was seeing traces of Moon Goddess and the hand going. And when we were listening to the Moon Goddess, we saw traces of Anjali in her, and this was beautiful.
I'm shivering.
So thank you. Thank you so much, Anjali, for your presence and for your story. And a lot of this story was your creation. So thank you for that as well. And
Thank you so much.
now we will move on and invite our next host, Anupa, once again. Anupa, over to you.
So, from the land of moon and insect, we come back to life on Earth. And we tend to believe that we've got our lives figured. We tend to believe that, oh, life is sorted. We've kind of figured it out. But have we really? So, our next performers, Samina and Nandini, who work with gifted and talented children, is going to share a story with us, Looking Within, which they have written themselves and will perform for us now. Over to you, Samina and Nandini.
Her name was Pratibha, and she was on this train journey to her Nani's house on the Konkan coast. Nostalgia wove around her like a warm blanket, and she snuggled in its memories. Nani's house was the most beautiful place for her. She heard a voice, a sound, someone singing one of her most beautiful Kabir songs. She asked, "Where is it coming from? Is it from a device? Is it from around me?" And then a simple dressed woman came into the compartment. "Wow," said Pratibha, "you are singing one of my most favorite songs. I really enjoyed this rendition." "Hello," said the woman. "I'm Meera. I travel from place to place singing devotional songs." "And who are you?" "I'm Pratibha. I work as a graphic designer at an Adventures Fortune 500 company." The woman smiled. "That's interesting. Who are you?" "I just told you. I won. I am Pratibha. I'm a graphics designer and I have won an award. My name was splashed all over the papers. You must have read about me." "Yes, I think. But who are you?" Puzzled, Pratibha fell silent. She didn't know what to answer. And lost in thought, she didn't even realize when Meera had left the compartment. A couple of hours later, Pratibha arrived at this tiny little village station on the Konkan coast where her Nani's home was. She got off the train and went to Nani's house, happy that she would meet Nani after a long time, excited, but at the same time, very, very puzzled. Nani welcomed her with open arms. And as they were sitting down to a meal, Pratibha turned to Nani and said, "Nani, if someone were to ask you, 'Who are you?' what would you reply? What would you say?" "Oh, Pratibha, it's so late at night. Come on, let's go and sleep. You've had a long day." Pratibha and Nani went to bed, but the question still went on and on in Pratibha's mind like a circle that had no ending. Pratibha woke up next morning and asked Nani at breakfast, "Nani, remember yesterday I asked you a question? What would you say if someone asked you, 'Who am I?'" "Oh, Pratibha, we have a lot to do. Come on. We have got to cook lunch and we've got to go to the market." Oh, Pratibha knew Nani is not going to answer her question. And as they walked to the market, the question still roamed around in Pratibha's mind like a circle that had no end. At the marketplace, they met Nani's friend who invited them to the performance at the school the next day.
The next day, Nani and Pratibha both walked towards the school. As they near the gate, Pratibha stops in her tracks. She hears a familiar, melodious voice singing a Kabir bhajan. भला हुआ मेरी मत की फूट गई, भला हुआ मेरी मत की. Pratibha was overjoyed. It was Meera's voice. She hurried into the school and sat listening to the soulful voice of Meera. After the event, she went to Meera and humbly invited her to her Nani's house. Pratibha offered Meera a delicious meal from the bottom of her heart. She told Meera how the past few days she's been feeling peace at her Nani's place. Meera looked at Pratibha and said, Pratibha, I can see the serene look of calm and peace on your face. I'm so happy. You know, Pratibha, the school we were at, they're looking for a teacher to teach their students art. You have told me you are a creative artist. Would you like to go and teach them? Pratibha felt silent. This was unexpected. She wondered, teach students? Well, I have only worked with adults for 20 years in a corporate firm. I don't know about teaching students. Meera noticed the wave of doubt that engulfed Pratibha. She said, Pratibha, can you please bring me a glass of water and a spoonful of salt? Pratibha was puzzled by the request, yet she went and got Meera a glass of water and a spoonful of salt. Meera took them and she put the salt in the glass of water and stirred it gently. Then she handed the glass of water to Pratibha. Pratibha, do you see the salt? No, it looks like clear glass of water. How about you take a sip? Pratibha gently brings the glass to her lips and takes the tiniest of sips. Salty. So you see, Pratibha, sometimes you'll have to experience life firsthand and not just look at it from afar. Pratibha understood. She smiled at Meera. When Meera was leaving her Nani's home, she took her blessing. At night, Pratibha and Nani were going to sleep, and Pratibha nudged her Nani. Nani, what do you think? You think I can teach students? Pratibha, it's getting late. Come on, let's sleep. Pratibha knew by now, Nani ke petre, she would never get a direct answer. The next morning, Pratibha woke up. She took a bath. She did puja with her Nani. She got dressed and looked at herself in the mirror. She saw the tiniest glimpse of a new Pratibha emerging. And with that, she walked slowly towards the school.
What a lovely story. How does it feel when you all narrate the story now? How do you all feel, Samina, Nandini?
I'm a little stumped right now. No more words are coming out. I was really nervous. In fact, I got engrossed in so many stories before this. It was so hard to, keep track of what do I have to narrate. I'm just feeling very overwhelmed and joyous right now. Thank you for, the community. Thank you so much, Ankit. This has been a very enriching experience the last couple of months for me. Nandini?
For me, I have actually lived Pratibha in my skin and have, she has been a part of my life the last so many weeks, both professionally as well as personally, because somewhere I do feel that the point at which she is, I feel I am also there at professionally. So there's a lot happening both professionally and personally, and I can actually figure that where Pratibha is. So for me, it was literally like Samina was one part and I'm one part where I have to now blend both together.
Yeah, we saw bits of Samina in the in Meera, and in Nandini we saw the character, and rightly saying so, because Nandini has been a teacher in a school for 20 years and now she's slowly transitioning out and becoming an independent freelancer person who would be working with adolescents, working with stories. She's taking a leap, which I believe is a big leap, isn't it, Nandini? So thank you for taking that courage and also bringing that gently into your story. Creating a story is not easy. It's absolutely not easy. Adapting is still okay. Picking up a story that is already there, to tell it to narration, it's still okay. But to create a story from scratch takes a lot of work. And I think Sabina and Nandini have experienced it in the last 2-3 weeks. So congratulating you once again for this work. Anything more you want to add, Sabina, about your work? Anything?
I work with gifted and talented kids, and these are also adolescents who are experiencing many highs and lows in life. And I think Nandini also has experienced it herself and the kids that she works with. So it was really wonderful building the story with Nandini, and I'm so grateful that we met, through the course. I didn't know she was in the same field as me, until we met through the course. And also thank you so much to my family who's online and my friends who joined. It's very, very encouraging.
Okay. Thank you, Samina. Thank you, Nandini. Thank you, Ankit. We move on to our next performer. We've heard of mothers, good mothers. Mothers are always good. Kind, giving mothers. This story, Chal Re Bhopliya Tunak Tunak, is about a clever mother. Welcoming Amrita, who's a librarian for 12 years at the Shayatri School, for this story. Amrita, over to you.
एका गावात एक म्हातारी राहत होती. तिला एक मुलगी होती आणि तिचं शुभमंगल सावधान मीन्स शादी हो गई थी. और उसका गांव जंगल के उस पार था और जंगल में बहुत सारे जंगली जानवर रहते थे. एक अरसा गुजर गया. माँ और बेटी की मुलाकात नहीं हुई. म्हातारीला मुलीची खूप आठवण येत होती. मग एके दिवशी म्हातारीने गाठोडं बांधले आणि निघाली लेकीला भेटायला. गावचा रस्ता संपला आणि जंगलचा रस्ता चालू झाला. म्हातारी आपली भीत भीत जात होती आणि समोर आला कोल्हा. ए म्हातारे, मी तुला आता खाऊन टाकणार. नाही नाही, नका खाऊ प्लीज. आता तुम्हाला मला खाऊन मिळणार नुसती हाडं. एक काम करते, लेकीकडे जातीये, छान छान तूप रोटी खाते, जाडजूड होते आणि मग मला खा. पण दगा दिलास तर याद राख. नाही नाही, नाही देणार. म्हातारी तिथून सुटते आणि थोडं पुढे जाते आणि येतो वाघ. ए म्हातारे, मी तुला खाऊन टाकणार. नाही नाही, नका खाऊ. तुम्हाला मला आता खाऊन मिळणार नुसती हाडं. शेवटचं लेकीला भेटते तिच्याकडे छान छान तूप रोटी खाते, जाडजूड होते, मग मला खा. पण मला फसवलंस तर गाठ माझ्याशी ये. नाही 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 फसवणार. म्हातारी तिथे पण वाजते आणि मग एकदाच लेकीकडे पोहोचते. बऱ्याच दिवसांनी आईला भेटून मुलीला खूप आनंद होतो. आईला मुलगी रोज नवीन नवीन छान पदार्थ खाऊ घालत होती. असेच मजेत दिवस जात होते आणि मग वापस जायचा दिवस येतो. म्हातारी दुःखी आणि उदास बसलेली असते. माँ को ऐसी हालत में देखकर बेटी ने पूछा, क्या हुआ माँ, ऐसे क्यों बैठी हो? फिर वो सब हकीकत बताती है, कैसी लोमड़ी मिली, बाघ मिला और उनको खाना है अभी उनको, ऐसे ये सब बताती है. फिर बेटी बोलते, बस इतनी सी बात, आई हैव एन आइडिया. फिर बेटी बड़ा सा कद्दू लेके आती है. अंदर से वो क्लीन करती है और माँ को बैठने के लिए जगह बनाती है. आणि मग म्हातारी मुलीचा निरोप घेऊन निघते. मग लागतं जंगल. म्हातारी आपली जात असती आणि समोर येतो कोल्हा. कोल्हा भोपळ्याला बघतो आणि म्हणतो, ए भोपळ्या, म्हातारीला पाहिलंस का रे? भोपळ्यातली म्हातारी म्हणते, म्हातारी भितारी मला नाही माहीत, चल रे भोपळ्या टुनुक टुनुक. आणि मग भोपळा पुढे पळू लागतो. कोल्ह्याला डाऊट येतो, चतुर कोल्हा असतो ना, मग तो पण भोपळ्याच्या मागे जातो आणि पुढे गेले की येतो वाघ. वाघ भोपळ्याला थांबवतो. ए भोपळ्या, एका म्हातारीला पाहिलंस का रे? भोपळ्यातली म्हातारी म्हणते, म्हातारी भितारी मला नाही माहीत, चल रे भोपळ्या टुनुक टुनुक. तेवढ्यात येतो कोल्हा. कोल्हा म्हणतो, वाघोबा थांबा थांबा, मला वाटतंय म्हातारी यात आहे, ती आपल्याला फसवतीये. मग वाघोबा भोपळ्याला थांबवतो आणि म्हणतो, काय ग म्हातारे, आमच्याशी गद्दारी करतीस काय? म्हातारी म्हणते, नाही नाही तसं नाही, पण आधी हे ठरवा की माझं डोकं कोण खाणार आणि शरीर कोण खाणार. दोघं विचार करायला लागतात. म्हातारीची बुद्धी चाणाक्ष आहे, म्हणजे डोकं खाल्लं पाहिजे. वाघ म्हणतो, मी डोकं खाणार. कोल्हा म्हणतो, नाही नाही मी खाणार. आणि मग दोघं वादावादी करायला लागतात आणि वादावादीचं रूपांतर फायटिंग मध्ये. आणि मग त्या फायटिंगचा फायदा घेऊन मातून धूम ठोकते आणि घरी पोहोचते. अशा रीतीने म्हातारी स्वतःच्या हुशारीने जीव वाचवते. थँक्यू.
Thank you, Amrita. How do you feel?
Good only and relaxed.
I think this just goes on to tell that language is just a way for us to, it's just one of the ways we communicate. Most of us here might not understand Marathi, but I'm very sure you were able to follow most of this story. I'll just probably just tell bits of this story once again for you to understand it. एक बूढ़ी अम्मा है और अम्मा को आ रही है अपने बच्चे की याद, और वो बच्चा रहता है जंगल के उस पार. और जब वो उस जंगल से गुजर रही है, पहले उनको मिलती है एक लोमड़ी, है ना, कोल्हा इज लोमड़ी. और लोमड़ी पूछती है कि मुझे तो आपको खाना है. और अम्मा कहती है, अभी क्या खाओगे, मैं तो मैं दुबली पतली हूँ, मैं अपनी बेटी के घर जाऊंगी, तूप रोटी खाऊंगी, यानी घी रोटी खाऊंगी, तो थोड़ी मोटी होके आऊंगी, तब मुझे खा लेना. और फिर ऐसे ही आगे बढ़ती है तो आगे मिलता है बाघ, और बाघ भी यही पूछता है कि मुझे है खाना. और अम्मा को कहती है कि अभी रुक जाओ, बेटी के घर जाऊंगी, घी रोटी खाऊंगी और फिर मोटी होके आऊंगी, तब मुझको खाना. लेकिन जब वो बेटी के घर जाती है और घी रोटी खाती है तो मोटी हो भी जाती है. पर कौन चाहता है कि उनको कोई लोमड़ी और बाघ खा ले. इसलिए लौटते वक्त वो खुद चल के नहीं आती, वो एक कद्दू में बैठ के आती है. और जब वो कद्दू में बैठ के आती है तो ना तो उसे लोमड़ी पहचान पाते हैं, ना ही बाघ. लेकिन लोमड़ी और बाघ, उनको थोड़ा तो शक होता है कि बूढ़ी अम्मा बड़ी चालाक है, क्या पता इस कद्दू के अंदर वही हो. और अम्मा पकड़ी जाती है. लेकिन यहाँ पे अम्मा की कहानी खत्म नहीं होती. अम्मा का कहना है कि ठीक है मुझे खा लो, लेकिन तुम में से एक कोई मेरा दिमाग खाएगा, दूसरा मेरा शरीर. बताओ कौन क्या खाएगा. अब दोनों को लगता है कि अम्मा बड़ी चालाक है, इनका दिमाग बड़ा टेस्टी होगा। तो लोमड़ी का कहना है कि मुझे दिमाग मिलना चाहिए, और बाघ को भी यही लगता है, और दोनों आपस में वाद विवाद कर रहे हैं और गुत्थम गुत्था कर रहे हैं। और इतने में अम्मा अपने घर वापस निकल लेती है। शुक्रिया अमृता, हमें ये कहानी सुनाने के लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। आप कुछ और बोलना चाहेंगे अपने बारे में, अपने काम के बारे में?
Yes, actually, I'm a sort of person ki I like to hearing stories, but while telling, I like एक था राजा एक थी रानी, दोनों मर गए खत्म कहानी, like that. While working in the library and with kids, I started crafting and making stories. And thanks to Swati Akka and Ankit, I got this platform and learned so many things. I'm confident and yeah, yes. Thank you, all of you. My friends are here, family is here. So thank you.
This is very special to have your friends and family here with you. अमृता जी स्कूल में काम करती हैं, वहाँ पे स्वाति जी भी काम करती है जो हमारी मेंटोर है। उनका कहना था कि हमारी जो लाइब्रेरी की टीचर है वो इतनी किताबें पढ़ती हैं, इतनी किताबें पढ़ती है कि उनके पास कहानियों का खजाना है। और आज हमें आपको देखने को और सुनने का मौका मिला, जो कि बहुत ही खूबसूरत था। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अमृता।
Thank you all.
अनुपा जी, हम नेक्स्ट किसको सुनने वाले हैं?
नेक्स्ट हम सुनने वाले हैं तोता की कहानी। तो ये तोता की कहानी एक्चुअली ओरिजिनली तमिल में लिखा गया है, क्या था भाई बाय अभी कृष। आज हमें हिंदी में सुनाएगी प्रीति। प्रीति जी, ओवर टू यू। और आप अयो वो तोता सुनाइए, नटखट तोता की कहानी।
अयो बचाओ बचाओ मुझे। क्या हुआ मुरली, तुम किससे भाग रहे हो? मुरली के दोस्त तारा और कबीर ने पूछा। वो तोता सुबह से मेरे पीछे पड़ा है, जो भी बोलता हूँ वही दोहराने लगता है। क्या? हाँ, जब मैंने उससे पूछा तुम चाहते क्या हो, तो वो टरटराने लगा, तुम चाहते क्या हो, तुम चाहते क्या हो। जब मैंने उससे कहा बड़ाया तोता पोता, तो उसने भी वही कहा, बड़ाया तोता पोता, बड़ाया तोता पोता। मैंने फिर उसे गुस्से में बोला, ई हुर शू, तो उसने भी मुझे चिल्लाकर बोला, ई हुर शू। मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आया। मैंने अपना गुस्सा ठंडा करने की कोशिश की। हमारे पड़ोस में जो कुत्ता है ना निम्मी, मैंने उसे सहलाया और गाना गाने लगा, आजा नन्हे पप्पी आजा मेरे पास। तो वो तोता, उसने भी निम्मी को सहलाया और गाना गाने लगा, आजा नन्हे पप्पी आजा मेरे पास। क्या? तोते ने निम्मी को सहलाया? हाँ, और जब मैं वड़ा खाने लगा, उसने झपटे से मेरे मुंह से वड़ा छीन लिया और गपागप आधा वड़ा खा गया। क्या? उसने तुम्हारा वड़ा खाया? उसकी ये मजाल, अभी उसको मजा चखाएंगे। कबीर और तारा तोते को हर जगह ढूंढने लगे। उन्होंने आकाश में ढूंढा, हर डाली टहनी को हिला के देखा, पेड़ों में छान मारा, लेकिन तोता कहीं नहीं दिखाई दिया। कोई तोता नहीं मुरली। नहीं नहीं, वो जरूर यही कहीं होगा। वो इतना नकलची बंदर है। बंदर? मेरा मतलब तोता है। मैंने उसे टरकाने की बहुत कोशिश की। मैंने बढ़िया सा हु हा कुंफू किया और तमिल में पूछा, एप्पड़े रकिंगा। तो उसने भी मुझे वही पूछा, एप्पड़े रकिंगा, एप्पड़े रकिंगा। जब मैंने उसे मराठी में पूछा, तू कसा आहेस, तो उसने भी मुझे वही पूछा, तू कसा आहेस, तू कसा आहेस। ये सब किया मैंने, पर वो तोता उसने वही किया जो मैंने किया, वही बोला जो मैंने बोला। अयो। मुरली और उसके दोस्त एक दूसरे के कंधे पर हाथ रखकर सर जोड़कर सोचने लगे, क्या ये कोई अलग तरह का तोता है मुरली? बहुत ही बदमाश है ये। हाँ, इतना बड़ा है, इतना बड़ा तोता। हाँ, उसकी दो बड़ी बड़ी चमकती आंखें हैं जो हमेशा यही देखती रहती है कि मैं क्या करता हूँ।
उसके तो छोटे छोटे पैर हैं जो हमेशा मेरे ही पीछे कूदते फुदकते रहते हैं जहां भी मैं जाऊं। उसके दो हाथ हैं जो हमेशा ताली बजाकर मेरा ही नाम लेते रहते हैं, मुरली मुरली मुरली। अयो तोता, भागो 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 भागो। और भागते भागते एक अजीब सी चीज हो जाती है, पता है क्या? तोते की चोंच ही गिर जाती है। अरे, तोते की चोंच कैसे गिर गई? ए मुरली, देखो तो ये नकलची तोता कौन है? तुम्हारी छोटी बहन मयू। क्या? तो ये मयू है? मयू है, मयू है, मयू है। सब लोग बहुत जोर जोर से हंसने लगे क्योंकि फाइनली तोते का राज सबके सामने खुल गया था। थैंक यू। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Preeti. What a lovely, funny story. अयो वो तोता। तो प्रीति, आप अध्ययन एजुकेशन फाउंडेशन में रीड अलाउड करते हैं बच्चों के लिए 1 to class 3। तो आप हमें ये बताइए कि टीचर टेलिंग टेल्स में अंकित के साथ अभी रीड अलाउड करने में और स्टोरी बोलने में क्या अंतर है? आपको क्या लगता है?
सो एक्चुअली मतलब मुझे पढ़ने की बहुत आदत थी, मतलब मैं खुद से नहीं बोल पाती थी, तो मुझे ना ऐसे स्टोरी बोलने में बहुत हार्ड जा रहा था। मुझे मुझे ऐसे स्क्रिप्ट लर्न नहीं हो रही थी, समझ में नहीं आ रहा था, मैं खुद के वर्ड्स यूज नहीं कर पा रही थी बिकॉज मुझे रोज बुक से पढ़ने की आदत हो गई है। मैं देखती हूँ, फिर मुझे पता चल जाता है, देन मैं परफॉर्म करती हूँ। तो मुझे कुछ भी ऐसे स्ट्रगल नहीं करना पड़ता। तो और ये बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे स्टोरी टेलिंग का, बिकॉज ये पूरा ऐसे फील होता है, ऐसे लगता है कि मैं कैरेक्टर में हूँ।
थैंक यू प्रीति, आपने बहुत मेहनत की इस कहानी पर और वो सारी मेहनत आज रंग लाई है। हम देख पाए इस कहानी को, हम इस कहानी को महसूस कर पाए, एंजॉय कर पाए। बहुत सारी ऑडियंस आपकी काफी सारी तारीफ कर रही है, जो मैं चाहता हूँ कि आप तसल्ली से आराम से पढ़ें और इसी तरह से रीड अलाउड का काम बच्चों के साथ करते रहे। आप बहुत ही प्यारा काम कर रहे हैं।
थैंक
थैंक
यू
यू।
अंकित, थैंक यू।
आगे बढ़े।
Yes, we are coming to somewhat the closure of the evening. Our next storyteller is from Delhi. वो एक क्लास 1 की फैसिलिटेटर है एंड उन्हें कार्टून्स देखना बहुत पसंद है अभी भी। एंड वन ऑफ हर फेवरेट कार्टून्स इवन नाउ इज डोरेमोन। I'd like to welcome on stage Shivani. Shivani is presenting the story called Misha Makes Friends. It is written by Tom Percival. The book even got an award or like was nominated for an award in 2021. And you know, sometimes we want to have a sense of belonging and we want to find a space in the world. And this book is all about that. The story is all about that. So let's hear about Misha Makes Friends from Shivani.
थैंक यू। सो हेलो, ये कहानी है मीशा के बारे में। मीशा एक 6 साल की बच्ची है और उसको चीजें बनाना बहुत पसंद है। वो बना सकती है नंबर से गाने और गानों से तस्वीर। मीशा कुछ भी बना सकती है, पर एक चीज है जो वो नहीं बना पा रही, और वो है दोस्त। मीशा जब भी जाती दोस्त बनाने, उसे समझ नहीं आता कि मैं क्या बोलूं, उसे समझ नहीं आता कि मैं कैसे बोलूं, और वो दोस्त नहीं बना पाती। एक दिन बैठे हुए मीशा सोच रही थी और उसने सोचा कि अब मुझे दोस्त बनाने ही नहीं है। वो अपने घर गई, उसने उठाई अपनी पेंसिल, उसने उठाया अपना स्केल और आज वो बनाने लगी और उसने बना दिए एक सेना, पूरी एक सेना अपने छोटे छोटे प्यारे दोस्तों की। ये दोस्त थे बहुत अच्छे क्योंकि उसे वो जहां चाहे वहां ले जा सकती है, उसे उन्हें वो जहां चाहे उनको अपने साथ में बैग में भी डाल सकती है। मगर ये दोस्त थोड़े से कच्चे भी थे, क्योंकि वो जब भी उनके साथ खेलना चाहती बैडमिंटन, अरे कोई जवाब नहीं आता। आज उसका मन है कि चलो क्रिकेट खेला जाए, वो मारती अपनी बॉल, पर बॉल पकड़ के कोई नहीं लाता। आज उसका मन है कि पता है आज मेरे साथ क्या हुआ, अपनी दिन की सारी बात बताने का, मगर सामने से जवाब नहीं आता। तो ये थे दोस्त अच्छे पर कच्चे। फिर एक दिन मीशा की मम्मी ने उसको एक पार्टी में बुलाया। आओ मीशा, आज हम एक पार्टी में जाते हैं, वहां आपको नए दोस्त भी मिलेंगे और वहां पे बहुत मजा आएगा। पार्टी में बहुत सारे लोग, उतना फन आइडिया उससे वो लगा नहीं। और वही हुआ, जैसे ही वो पार्टी में गए, वहां दो लोग बैलून के साथ, वहां चार फ्रेंड्स कूद रहे हैं, यहाँ चार फ्रेंड्स कूद रहे हैं, और जिस बात का उसे डर था, मैं क्या बोलूं और कैसे बोलूं, वही हुआ। फिर वो एक कोने में जा बैठी और उसने सोचा अब मुझे यहाँ भी कोई दोस्त बनाना नहीं है, मैं अपना दोस्त खुद बना लेती हूँ। अब वो बना रही थी, लेकिन आज उसने देखा कुछ तो गड़बड़ है। हम्म? कोई उसे शुरुआत से देख रहा था, और वो कोई था एक लड़का, विहान। विहान ने उसे पूछा, क्या मैं आपको देख सकता हूँ ये जो आप बना रहे हो? हम्म, मीशा ने कुछ जवाब नहीं दिया, लेकिन जब उसका वो पहला दोस्त बन गया तो उसने हिम्मत करी। ये देखो, अरे वाह, इतना अमेजिंग है ये तो, क्या तुम मुझे भी सिखाओगी ये बनाना? और हम्म, पर कहीं ये इसको काट तो नहीं देगा, मैं चिपकाने को बोलूंगी तो वो फाड़ तो नहीं देगा? मगर ये ऐसा लगता तो नहीं है। आओ, और अब वो दोनों मिलके बनाने लगे और बनाते बनाते उन्होंने बना दिया पूरा का पूरा एक विलेज। अब तो यहाँ कोई भी दोस्त रह सकता है और कोई कुछ भी कर सकता है। फिर विहान को एक आइडिया आया कि क्यों ना हम और दोस्तों को भी लेके आए, फिर तो कितना मजा आएगा। मगर मीशा को था वही डर कि मैं क्या बोलूंगी और मैं कैसे बोलूंगी, इतने सारे लोग। पर जैसे ही विहान सारे लोगों को लेके आया और उन्होंने देखा वो शानदार विलेज, आज पहली बार आज पहली बार मीशा को पता था कि क्या बोलना है और कैसे बोलना है। और मीशा ने अपने उन कच्चे अच्छे दोस्तों की मदद से बना लिए आज पहली बार अपने अच्छे और सच्चे दोस्त। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Shivani. Yeah, you kept us engaged throughout. और मुझे आपसे जानना था कि आपके 3 months ऑफ वर्कशॉप कैसा रहा है? आपको कुछ चैलेंजिंग लगा, कुछ ऐसा कुछ बहुत ही मजेदार लगा, समथिंग ऑफ दोस सॉर्ट?
मैंने एक्चुअली इससे पहले वाला बैच भी ज्वाइन किया था, बट तब मेरा इतना ज्यादा बिजी शेड्यूल हो गया था कि मैं तब भी परफॉर्म नहीं कर पाई थी। एंड इट इज माय फर्स्ट टाइम परफॉर्मिंग, जैसे कि प्रीति ने भी बोला, विदाउट रीडिंग अलाउड। सो आई एम मे बी मोर कंफर्टेबल। हाँ, रीडिंग अलाउड में वो कंफर्ट होता है कि आई कैन नॉट फॉरगेट दिस एंड इसके बाद क्या होने वाला है। सो बट स्टिल व्हेन यू लव द स्टोरी, आई थिंक आप फिर, और ये प्रैक्टिस भी जब स्टार्टिंग हुई थी मुझे लगा था मैं कर लूंगी फर्स्ट ट्राई में, ऐसे लगा था। बट इवन छोटी छोटी चीजें जो आप को रियलाइज नहीं होती है पर आप गड़बड़ कर रहे होते हो, देन आई गॉट दैट। फिर एक चीज जो शायद स्टोरी रिटर्न जैसे उससे अलग हमने करी है, वो ये है कि मीशा का मन नहीं है कि अब दोस्त बनाने हैं, उसमें इस तरीके से नहीं है। बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो इससे मैं अपने लेवल पे आज, जैसे हम सब एडल्ट्स हैं यहाँ पे, जो मेरे मन में आया सोते सोते, कि इट्स लाइक द सेम जो आजकल हम फेस करें कि एआई कितना अच्छा कंपेनियन है ना। जब कोई नहीं मिल रहा तो हम उस एआई से बात कर लेते हैं, चलो अब मुझे दोस्तों से बात करनी ही नहीं है, मुझे दिक्कत है तो मैं उससे पूछ लेता हूँ, कुछ शेयर करना हूँ, वो परफेक्ट आंसर भी दे देता है। बट उसमें वो बात नहीं होती, जैसे मीशा को अपने उन छोटे दोस्तों में जो नहीं मिला, उस एआई में भी वो ह्यूमनाइज्ड फील नहीं होती। तो दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, थैंक यू एवरीवन, आई थिंक इट रियली कनेक्ट्स अस, वो ह्यूमनाइज्ड टच हमको देता है, एंड आई रियली अप्रिशिएट इट एंड आई रियली वैल्यू इट, एंड आई विल बी पार्ट ऑफ इट जब तक हम सब साथ में हैं। एंड थैंक यू सो मच for Yashas and Ankit sir, everybody who listened to me and give those feedbacks. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, so much, Shivani, for your words. And yes, I do believe that AI cannot really replace the human touch, as you said rightfully. We are moving on towards the very last story of the evening. The story is by a duo that was formed here in the session, Than Singh and Latika. Than Singh is from Rajnandgaon, Chhattisgarh. He works with the Shiksharth Trust एंड वो स्कूल्स के साथ काम करते हैं, कम्युनिटी सेंटर्स के साथ काम करते हैं, एंड वो 6 से लेके 8 स्टैंडर्ड के बच्चों को कम्युनिटी वॉक्स पे, नेचर वॉक्स पे लेकर जाते हैं। थान सिंह हैज बीन वर्किंग इन द एजुकेशन सेक्टर फॉर 3 years एंड वो एक गांधी फेलो भी रह चुके हैं। हम थान सिंह के बारे में और भी सुनेंगे आफ्टर द परफॉर्मेंस। लतिका दिल्ली से हैं एंड उनके पास अराउंड 8 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है ऑफ वर्किंग इन द डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर। वो बच्चों के साथ काम कर चुकी हैं, टीचर ट्रेनिंग कर चुकी हैं, करिकुलम डिजाइन कर चुकी हैं, एंड करंटली इन हर ओन वर्ड्स शी इज डिस्कवरिंग herself. The story that Than Singh and Latika are going to present to us is something that a lot of us have probably read or heard before, but it's something that will always, always move us. It is a story of love, sacrifice, and the resilience of the human spirit. We'll hear The Last Leaf, written by O. Henry, performed by Than Singh and Latika now. Thank you so much. Over to you guys.
थैंक यू पतंग जी। यह कहानी है इटली की एक गांव की, जहां की सड़कें बहुत ही घुमावदार है। सदियों पुरानी घर है जिसपे बहुत सारी लताएं बिल फैली हुई है। देखकर ऐसे लगता है कि पूरा गांव ही चित्र है। इसी गांव में 2 लड़कियों की मुलाकात होती है जो दोनों ही दोस्त होते हैं, और बात से उनकी पता चलती है कि वो उनकी पसंद मिल रही है, रंगों को लेकर, चित्रों को लेकर, चाहे एक चित्र को देखने के नजरिए को लेकर। फिर कुछ समय बाद उनकी दोस्ती बहुत गहरी हो जाती है। उसी गांव में अपने एक छोटा सा घर लेते दोनों साथ रहते हैं, और बगल में अपने एक छोटा सा स्टूडियो खोलते हैं, और बहुत सारे पत्रिकाओं के लिए बहुत सारे चित्र बनाते हैं। यूं ही उनका समय साथ बीतता है। महीने दर महीने, महीने दर महीने यूं ही बीत जाती है। फिर नवंबर की सर्द भरी मौसम आती है। उस सर्द भरी मौसम में एक अचानक से एक अदृश्य बीमारी का आगमन होता है, जो गांव के पूर्वी हिस्से में कई लोगों को अपने चपेट में लेके वो पश्चिम पश्चिम हिस्से की ओर आगे बढ़ते हैं। इसी को डॉक्टर लोग मिस्टर न्यूमोनिया कहते हैं। इसकी चपेट में एक कलाकार भी आ जाती है, और कई दिनों तक वो बेड बिस्तर में ऐसी लेटी रहती है, और दीवार के ऊपर सोती रहती है। वो उसकी दोस्त बहुत परेशान होती है उसकी स्थिति देखकर, उसको ठीक करने के लिए बहुत कोशिश करती है, बस उसकी स्थिति में कोई सुधार नहीं हो पा रही है। और एक दिन वो पड़ोसी डॉक्टर साहब को बुला लिया। पड़ोसी डॉक्टर साहब पूरी स्थिति का मुआयना करते हैं, आंखों को देखते हैं, नब्जों को चेक करते हैं, थर्मामीटर से तापमान चेक करते हैं, और थर्मामीटर को झटकाते हुए कमरे से बाहर निकलते हैं, और इसको दूसरे चौंकाने वाली बात बताते हैं। हमें स्थिति देखकर ये लग रही है कि आपकी दोस्त की बचने की संभावना बहुत कम है। ये क्या कह रहे हैं डॉक्टर साहब? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। हमने कुछ महीने पहले ही साथ रहना शुरू किया है, ये कैसे हो सकता है? आपकी दोस्त की स्थिति वही बता रही है। मैं क्या करूं डॉक्टर साहब जिससे उसकी जीने की इच्छा प्रबल हो जाए, जिससे मैं उसे जल्दी ठीक कर सकूं? क्या उसको ऐसे किसी चीज में रुचि है जिससे आप उनकी मन बहला सकते हैं, उनका ध्यान कहीं और लगा सकते हैं? हाँ डॉक्टर साहब, वो कहती रहती है मुझे नेपाल की खाड़ियाँ जाना है, चित्र बनाना है, उसके पास जाके बैठना है। तो आप कृपया उन्हीं चीजों के बारे में उनसे बात करें। उसकी दोस्त बहुत कोशिश करती है, नेपाल की खाड़ियाँ बहुत चित्र बनाती है, उसे बात करती है, बट उसकी स्थिति में कोई खासा सुधार नहीं हो पाती है। एक दिन वो फिर उस दीवार को टकटकी लगाए दिखते रहते। 10, 9, 8, 7, अचानक से 5। और ये फुसफुसाहट की आवाज सुनकर उसकी दोस्त कमरे में आती है और पूछती है, तुम क्या कर रही हो? वो जो उस दीवार पर लगी बेल है, जिसमें अब कुछ ही पत्तियां बची है, जिसकी पत्तियां अब गिर जाएगी, मैं उस दुनिया से चली जाऊंगी। ये तुम क्या बेवकूफ भरी बात कर रही हो? क्या तुम्हारी जीने की इच्छा उस पत्ती पर निर्भर करती है? ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। ये बात मुझे 3 दिन से पता थी, जिस दिन उसकी आखिरी पत्ती गिरी थी। मैं इस दुनिया से जाना चाहती हूँ। और उसकी दोस्त बहुत परेशान होके रोते हुए कमरे से बाहर निकल जाती है।
और वो अपने पड़ोसी चित्रकार के पास पहुंचती है और अपनी बीमार दोस्त के बारे में बताती है। ये चित्रकार 40 सालों से चित्र बनाने का काम कर रहे थे, लेकिन अपने काम से खुश नहीं थे। वो हमेशा से ही एक मास्टरपीस बनाना चाहते थे, लेकिन कभी बना नहीं पाए थे, और अपने आप को वो एक असफल चित्रकार मानते थे। बीमार कलाकार के बारे में सुनकर उनकी मदद करने का फैसला करते हैं और उनके घर पहुंचते हैं। कलाकार को देखकर उन्होंने झट से ड्राइंग बोर्ड जमाया, कुछ रंग लिए और चित्रकारी करना शुरू किया। चित्रकार को देखकर कलाकार उन्हें चित्र बनाते हुए देखती रही, और इसी तरह शाम हो गई। ये देखकर तो उसकी फिक्र थोड़ी कम हुई। अब वो चित्रकार रोज वहां जाते और चित्रकारी करते। वे खाड़ियों के चित्र बनाते, वो पेड़ों के चित्र बनाते और पत्तों के भी। और दोनों कलाकार नेपल्स की खाड़ियों की बातें करते। एक दिन हम नेपल्स की खाड़ियां जरूर जाएंगे और वहां बैठकर चित्रकारी करेंगे, तुम देखना, ऐसा जरूर होगा। और दिनों दिन ऐसे ही चलता रहा, और सामने लगी बेल की पत्तियां भी दिनों दिन गिरती जा रही थी। और फिर एक दिन ऐसा आया कि सिर्फ एक ही पत्ती बची, एक अकेली कमजोर पत्ती। उस रात एक बर्फीला तूफान आया, सारी रात बर्फ गिरती रही। दोनों कलाकारों ने वो रात डर के साथ काटी। सुबह हुई, पर्दा उठाया गया, और वो दिन देख कर हैरान थे कि पत्ती अभी भी मौजूद थी। सुबह डॉक्टर आए, उन्होंने कलाकार को चेक किया और उसकी दोस्त से कहा, ये पहले से बेहतर हो रही है, मुझे पूरा भरोसा है ये जल्द ही ठीक होंगी, क्योंकि इनकी जीने की इच्छा लौट आई है। ये सुनकर दोस्त बेहद खुश हुई। डॉक्टर के जाने के बाद वो अपनी दोस्त के नजदीक बैठी और कहा, मुझे बेहद खुशी है इस बात की कि तुम ठीक हो रही हो। एक बार को मुझे लगा था कि मैं तुम्हें खो दूंगी, पर तुमने ये कर दिखाया। हम दोनों ने मिलकर ये कर दिखाया। मैं तुम्हें बताना चाहती हूँ कि मैं तुम्हारे साथ हूं और हमेशा तुम्हारे साथ रहूंगी। उसने अपनी दोस्त का हाथ अपने हाथ में लिया और कहा, मैं तुम्हें कुछ और भी बताना चाहती हूँ। ये खबर अच्छी नहीं है, लेकिन हम इसको भी साथ में झेलेंगे। उसने कहा, हमारे पड़ोसी चित्रकार नहीं रहे। नहीं रहे मतलब? वो भी परसों ही तो आए थे मुझे देखने। हाँ, वो नहीं रहे। आज सुबह ही अस्पताल में उनकी निमोनिया से मौत हो गई। डॉक्टर ने बताया कि वो सिर्फ 2 दिनों से बीमार थे। सुना है चौकीदार ने उन्हें दर्द से तड़पते हुए अपने कमरे में पाया। उनके जूते, कपड़े, सब कुछ गीले थे। जाहिर है वो तूफानी रात में बाहर थे। उनके कमरे में एक सीढ़ी, कुछ ब्रश और रंग बिखरे हुए मिले, और एक जलती हुई लालटेन भी। उसे खिड़की की ओर इशारा किया। जरा उस पत्ती को देखो। क्या तुम्हें देखकर बिल्कुल भी हैरानी नहीं होती कि वो उस तूफानी रात में टिकी रही? ये हिलती क्यों नहीं है? ये फड़फड़ाती क्यों नहीं है? न ये रात से डरती है, न ये तूफान से हारती है। इसका रंग अभी भी इतना हरा क्यों है? कि तुम्हें सच में लगता है कि तुम्हें तुम्हें इस पत्ती ने बचाया, या तुम्हें बचाने वाला कोई और था? ये क्या कह रही हो तुम? मेरी कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा। सुना है उन चित्रकार ने उस पत्ती को अपनी आखिरी सांस से रंगा था, ठीक उसी तूफानी रात में जब उस आखिरी पत्ती ने भी दम तोड़ दिया था, ताकि तुम्हारी सांसें चलती रहे। वो जिंदगी भर एक मास्टरपीस बनाने का सपना देखते रहे, लेकिन कभी नहीं बना पाए। अपनी जिंदगी देकर किसी की जान बचाने के लिए बनाए गए चित्र से भी बढ़कर क्या कुछ हो सकता है? ये वाकई उनका बनाया गया एक मास्टरपीस है, एक नायाब मास्टरपीस। थैंक यू।
Yeah, thank you so much, Tansing and Nitika. So many emotions जो मैंने एंड हम सब ने आज फील किया। ये कहानी 1900s में लिखी गई थी, बहुत पहले, एंड अभी भी आज आपके जो नरेशन था, आपका जो स्टोरी टेलिंग था, इट मेड अस फील अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स। सो थैंक यू सो मच। तानसेन, क्या आप बता सकते हैं अपने प्रोसेस के बारे में कि अबाउट जो आज का जो परफॉर्मेंस था उसके पीछे को, मतलब आज ये लाने के पीछे की जो प्रोसेस रही है, थोड़ा उसके बारे में अगर बता सके तो।
एक बार फिर से रिपीट करेंगे। आई थिंक हम मुझे थोड़ा सा ना इंटरनेट की वजह से वो थोड़ा
तानसेन, वो पूछ रहे हैं कि इस कहानी को तैयार करना कैसा था।
बहुत मजेदार था, क्योंकि ना बहुत बार प्रैक्टिस हुई इसकी। तो लॉट्स ऑफ चेंजेस, पहले बार में कुछ और था, दूसरे बार में कुछ और बता, तीसरे बार में जाते जाते मतलब एंड बस यहाँ तक, मतलब अभी भी जब परफॉर्म कर रहा हूँ तो भी लगता है कि मतलब वो चेंज हो रही थी। और आई थिंक जब जब इस कहानी को पढ़ रहा था मुझे लगता था यार हर बार नया पर्सपेक्टिव मिल रहा है, उसको कैसे प्रेजेंट करूंगा। फिर कोशिश कर रहा था कि इसको कहानी को पूरा करूं, बट वो उसके लिए एक साथी की जरूरत थी, तो लतिका जी ने फिर ज्वाइन किया। तो आई थिंक वो हमारी स्टोरीज बहुत वंडरफुल, तब बहुत अच्छी हो पाई। मुझे बहुत ऐसा फील लग रहा है कि वो कंप्लीट थी, हमारी नरेशंस वो मिलने लगे थे ट्वेरी प्रैक्टिस के दौरान। यस,
मुझे लगता है आप दोनों की आवाज, आप दोनों का अंदाज इतना ज्यादा मिल रहा था कि लग रहा था कि जैसे आप दोनों ही इस कहानी के लिए बने हैं और ये कहानी आप ही दोनों के लिए बनी है। एक वक्त तो ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे हम लेटे हैं और हमें कोई सहला रहा है। मतलब हर वाक्य इस तरह से आ रहा था जैसे कोई लहर लेता जा रहा है ना। हम बह रहे हैं और हम बिल्कुल, हमारे ऊपर लहरें आती जा रही है। आपको कैसा महसूस हो रहा है लतिका?
काफी रिलैक्स फील हो रहा है, और मुझे खुद पे भी भरोसा नहीं था, पर थैंक यू तान सिंह कि तुमने मुझ पे भरोसा किया और अपनी कहानी में मुझे हिस्सेदारी दी। और काफी जल्दबाजी में डिसीजन हुआ था, बट मुझे बहुत मजा आया आपके साथ काम करके। और मैंने मतलब कि बहुत बार मैं एंशियस हो जाती थी कि नहीं नहीं प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, बट उन्होंने बहुत पेशेंटली मेरे साथ डील किया। थैंक यू तान सिंह, मजा आया
के
मुझे।
पेशेंस के बारे में मैं एक चीज और जोड़ना चाहूंगा। पिछले सीजन में जब हम इसी तरह की एक और इवनिंग रख रहे थे, तब थांग सिंह की परफॉर्मेंस के वक्त ही उनका इंटरनेट उनका साथ छोड़ गया और उनके साथी उन्हें तलाशते रह गए और थांग सिंह का इंटरनेट साथ नहीं दिया। इसलिए इस सीजन वो फिर से आए, क्योंकि उन्हें फिर से एक कहानी सुनानी थी। और हमें बहुत खुशी है कि आपने बहुत मेहनत की और अब ये कहानी हमारे बीच लेकर आए। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया इस मेहनत के लिए थांग सिंह, और इस पेशेंस के लिए। लतिका, पहले मेंटोर भी रही हैं और उन्होंने बहुत सारे लोगों को मेंटोर भी किया है। और जब आखिरी में उन्हें लगा कि थान सिंह को एक साथी की जरूरत है तो वो खुद आए और उन्होंने इस कहानी को पूरा करने में मदद की। तो मुझे लगता है आप दोनों का साथ बहुत ही अच्छा रहा। कुछ और जोड़ना चाहेंगे आप लतिका, थान सिंह?
आखिरी वक्त में मतलब कि काफी मतलब बहुत सारी स्टोरी की प्रिपरेशन एक साथ हो रही थी, तो पर सभी मेंटर्स इतने सपोर्टिव थे कि मैंने उन्हें कभी भी कॉल करती थी कि मेरी कहानी एक बार सुन लेते हैं। तो हमेशा उन्होंने टाइम निकाला। इवन यशस बीइंग सो सपोर्टिव कि मैंने उन्हें रात के 1 बजे भी कॉल किया है कि मैं कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं फील कर रही हूँ। सभी थे मौजूद, इवन पूजा के मैंने अचानक से उन्हें बताया कि एक प्रैक्टिस में करना चाहती हूँ। सभी ने बहुत सपोर्ट दिखाया और उन सबके बिना ये मुमकिन नहीं था। तो थैंक यू एवरीवन।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया लतिका, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया थान सिंह। ये हमारी आखिरी कहानी थी, बल्कि आखिरी कहानी होती अगर एक कहानी और ना निकल आती। जब ये सत्र शुरू हुआ था तो बहुत धीरे धीरे लोग लॉग इन कर रहे थे और इसलिए कई सारे लोगों ने पहली कहानी सुनना छूट गया। कई सारे लोगों का पहली कहानी सुनना छूट गया। इसलिए हम चाहेंगे कि हमारे सत्र का अंत बिल्कुल पहली कहानी से ही हो। जो कहानी हमने सबसे पहले सुनी है उसी को हम आखिरी कहानी के रूप में एक बार फिर से सुने। सो मैं एक बार फिर से बुला रहा हूँ रुपिंदर को और हम उनकी कहानी सुनेंगे और इसी के साथ आज की हमारी शाम यहाँ पे खत्म हो जाएगी। सुनते हैं एक ऐसी लड़की को जिसे कहानी से नफरत है। सुनते हैं रुपिंदर।
ये कहानी है एक लड़की के बारे में जिसका नाम था मीना। अगर आप संस्कृत में इस नाम के मायने खोजेंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा इसका मतलब है मछली। पर मीना को ये बात कहाँ पता थी? उसने कौन सा कभी कोई किताब पढ़ी थी? उसे तो किताबों से नफरत थी। हो भी क्यों ना, उसके घर में हर जगह किताबें थी। किताबें केवल बुक शेल्फ या मेज पर नहीं रखी थी, पर हर उस जगह पर थी जहां पर उन्हें नहीं होना चाहिए। दराज में किताबें, अलमारी में किताबें, सोफे पर किताबें, कुर्सी पर किताबें, कुर्सी के नीचे किताबें। और मीना के माता पिता, उन्हें तो किताबें इतनी पसंद थी कि वो हर समय किताब के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं। वो सुबह दोपहर शाम दिन भर किताबें पढ़ते। पर मीना से जब बात करना चाहते तो मीना कहती, मुझे किताबों से नफरत है। एक और ऐसा शख्स था जिसे मीना की तरह ही किताबों से नफरत थी। वो थी मीना की बिल्ली मैक्स। सुना है जब वो छोटी थी तब उसकी पूंछ पर एक भारी भरकम एटलस गिर गई थी। तब से उसकी पूंछ का सिरा टेढ़ा है। एक दिन मीना रोज की तरह सिंक पर गई। उसने किताबें हटाई, मंजन कुल्ला किया। रसोई घर में गई तो उन्हीं किताबों की सीढ़ी चढ़कर ऊपर चढ़ गई और कॉर्नफ्लेक्स निकाला। फ्रिज खोला, पत्रिकाएं भरी थी, पत्रिकाएं को निकाला, साइड किया, दूध निकाला और अपना और मैक्स का नाश्ता तैयार किया। और आवाज लगाई, मैक्स नाश्ता तैयार है। मैक्स की आवाज नहीं आई। मैक्स नाश्ता तैयार है। दूर कहीं से आवाज आई, म्याऊ। तो मीना ढूंढती हुई उसे गई और पाया कि आखिरी कमरे में किताबों के सबसे ऊंचे टीले पर जाकर फंस गई हैं। मीना ने निकालना तो था, पर ये जो किताबों का टीला था ये उन किताबों का था जो मीना के माता पिता ने बड़े लाड चाव से मीना के लिए खास तौर पर खरीदे थे। नीचे नीचे बिना शब्दों वाली चित्रकथाएं थी। बीच में वर्णमाला, शब्द ज्ञान, बाल गीत वाली किताबें थी। और सबसे ऊपर थी रोमांच से भरी हुई परियों की और जानवरों की कहानियां। पर सब धूल से भरी थी। अब मीना ने सोचा कि चलो मैक्स को तो निकाला जाए किसी तरह से। वो उन्हीं की सीढ़ी बनाकर ऊपर 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 चढ़ने लगी। शुरू शुरू में तो संतुलन बनाया, पर जैसे ही उसका पैर पतली किताबों पर पड़ा, अरे ये क्या, मीना तो धड़ाम से नीचे आ फिसली और बहुत जोर का धमाका हुआ। मीना की आंखें खोली तो वो खुली की खुली रह गई। ऐसा पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था कि किताबें अपने आप खुलने लग गई, पन्ने पलटने लग गए और उसके अंदर के सारे जीव जंतु जानवर सब बाहर एक दूसरे पर गिरने लगे। वहां देखा तो राजकुमार और राजकुमारी नाच रहे थे, ऊपर परियां मंडरा रही थी। मेज के ऊपर हाथी नाच रहे थे और अपनी सूंड पर प्लेटों को नचा रहे थे। बंदर पर्दों पे लटक रहे थे और पट्टियां फाड़ फाड़ कर अपने सिर पे पगड़ी बना रहे थे। यहां से खरगोश, वहां से खरगोश, हर जगह खरगोश और पैरों में चूहे। नहीं, मीना चिल्लाई, ये सब बंद करो। पर मीना की आवाज सुने कौन? कमरे में इतना शोर शराबा जो था, मीना को समझ नहीं आया। उसने हाथ में आए खरगोश को पकड़कर उसने किताब के अंदर डालने की कोशिश करी, पर खरगोश तो डर सहम कर भाग गया। मीना ने लंबी सांस ली और सोचा कि अब एक एक को पकड़ कर पूछा जाए, भाई तुम किस किताब से आए हो? मीना को कहाँ पता, उसने कहाँ कोई किताब पढ़ी थी। उसने मेज के नीचे सिसकते हुए भेड़िए को पूछा, भाई तुम कहाँ से आए हो? भेड़िया कहा, मुझे तो याद नहीं, पता नहीं मैं रेड राइडिंग हुड का हूँ, पता नहीं मैं 3 सुअर वाली कहानी का हूँ, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा। अब मीना उसकी मदद करे भी तो कैसे करे। आखिर में मीना ने एक किताब उठाई और उसे पढ़ना शुरू किया। बहुत दूर देश की बात है, बहुत समय पहले। इतना सुनते ही सारे जानवर शांत हो गए और मीना के आसपास आकर बैठ गए। यूं गोला बनाकर बैठे थे जैसे कहानी सुनने के लिए बिल्कुल तैयार है। मीना कहानी पढ़ती रही और जैसे वो दूसरे पन्ने पर आई, वहां बैठे 2 सुअर बोले, ये तो हमारी कहानी, हमारी कहानी, ये तो हमारी। और वो उछल कर मीना की गोद में कूदे और किताब में गायब हो गए। मीना ने झट से किताब बंद कर दी, कहीं वो गलती से बाहर ना निकल आए। मीना ने दूसरी किताब निकाली, पढ़ना शुरू किया। तीसरी किताब निकाली, चौथी निकाली और वो पढ़ती गई। जैसे जैसे कहानी पढ़ती गई, सारे पात्र अपनी अपनी कहानी के अंदर गुम होते चले गए। आखिर में बचा एक नीली जैकेट वाला खरगोश। अब तक मीना का मन बदल चुका था। वो चाहती थी ये खरगोश उसी के पास रह जाए, क्योंकि उसको बहुत अकेलापन महसूस हो रहा था। खरगोश ने कहा, नहीं नहीं, मुझे जाने दो अपने परिवार के पास, पर तुम याद रखना कि तुम्हें हमसे मिलने का मन हो तो ये किताबें तो तुम्हारे पास ही हैं। मीना ये सोचकर मुस्कुराई। शाम को जब मीना के माता पिता घर आए, कमरे की ये हालत देखकर पहले तो घबराए। फटे हुए पर्दे, इधर उधर गिरी हुई चीजें और मेज के पैर तो कुतरे हुए। पर सबसे हैरानी की चीज तो ये थी कि मीना किताबों के घेरे में बैठी किताबें पढ़ रही थी और अब मीना को किताबों से नफरत नहीं थी। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, Rupinder. Big round of applause for you. Thank you for getting us started and thank you for bringing us to a closure. And this brings us to an end of this performance and this season. Thank you, Rupinder. लोग हमसे अक्सर पूछते हैं कि क्या इस कोर्स में हमें सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा? एक कागज का सर्टिफिकेट तो मिलता है, लेकिन बात यह है कि अब एक स्टोरी टेलर का सर्टिफिकेट ये होता है कि जब वो लोगों के बीच बैठे हो और लोग कहें कि कहानी सुना दो और वो कहानी सुना दे, यही आपका असली सर्टिफिकेट है। तो मुझे ये कहते हुए बहुत खुशी मिल रही है कि हम में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने आज वो अपना सर्टिफिकेट अर्न कर लिया है। जिन्होंने आज कहानी नहीं सुनाई, वो बहुत ही जल्दी कहीं और इसी तरह किसी शाम में कहानी सुनाएंगे। जैसे हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हमने खुद दिया है, ऐसे ही ये सर्टिफिकेशन भी हम ही खुद को दे रहे हैं। So I would love to congratulate all the learners, all the performers, and declare us storytellers. So really happy for you and looking forward to stories coming in more into your work and more into your life. Really looking forward to a lifelong storytelling being a part of your life. I hope you go around the world and bring people together for such evenings and be with them all together with stories. Thank you so much. I also want to thank people who have made this possible. I just want to name all the mentors who have been a part of this process. There's Dr. Swati in the audience. there is Latika, there's Yashas, there's Mohinish, there is Paridhi, there is Pooja, there is Ratna, there is Sarvika, there is Sudiksha, and Shalu. So imagine there were so many mentors who voluntarily gave their time, gave their efforts, gave their love to all of these stories that you see today. Just want to thank all of them. Um, this course started somewhere around 2018 when I was doing my PhD in storytelling and I was working with teachers in Chhattisgarh. It was with them that this workshop and this course was first conceptualized. And I also just want to acknowledge the big role of Professor Padma Sarangapani, who supported this in its very early stages. In 2021, we started this course with TIS, offering it with TIS. And this year onwards, we have started offering it independently with a new name. And I think it's starting to take its own life. This year, we had 3 seasons and 12 batches and a total of 300 people who have learned storytelling with us. And it just feels like a good end to that story. We're taking a little break from storytelling, and in the next 3-4 months, we will be resting. It's spring, and we just want to spend it reading more stories and learning more stories. And we'll come back again with this course in perhaps summers, maybe May of next year. And I really look forward to seeing many, many of you as learners there as well. So just want to thank all of you for being here and being a part of this journey. Thank you. Thank you so much. I also saw that a lot of audience members were here from the first moment till the end, and I could see your expression. I read your words. So if any one of you want to take up this space and want to speak, you're very, very welcome. You can unmute and speak. Feel very free. Any member in the audience who wants to speak a word, say something to our performers? Yes, Seema is here. Good to see you, Seema. Seema is a fellow storyteller, and it's an understatement to call her a storyteller because she's a set designer. She's the Sanjay Leela Bhansali of storytelling. She creates grand props and sets when she tells stories. I recently met her in Vizag. And Seema, yes, over to you.
I joined from the first story onwards, and I got to see it again. So Rupinder, to have the same energy to start off and end with the same energy and the same thing, hats off. Two things were constant throughout as I was watching. One is the awesome performances given by each one of you, so genuine, so heartfelt. And Ankit was telling that I'm like the Sanjay Leela Bansali. I use a lot of props I'm a very visual storyteller. I've dulled my background because there's lots of Christmas thing happening for my session tomorrow, and I don't want to take it. But the very sincerity with which these stories were shared, how it came from your heart, so that was something that was uniform. And the second thing that was constant was I was watching Ankit. The smile never left his face. So these two things, when it happens, it really miracles do happen. That's a story to tell. So I enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you, Ankit.
Thank you so much, Seema. Anybody in the audience who also just say a final word before we close? We'll be closing very soon, and we would love to hear any word coming from the audience. Yes, Kranti Guru.
Hello
First,
all.
let's hear the person. Yeah, Kranti Guru.
My name is Karthik and Krantigur is my nickname. Uh, मैं यहाँ पे मेरे एक दोस्त है गांधी फेलो कान सिंह की स्टोरी सुनने के लिए आया था। और मैं अभी जहाँ पे काम करता हूँ, क्वेस्ट में मैं काम करता हूँ, फेलो हूँ उनका। तो यहाँ पे भी रीड अलाउड के काफी सेशंस चलते हैं। तो मैंने पहली बार देखा है ऐसा कि मतलब हम लोगों को तो पढ़ाया जा रहा था, लेकिन जैसे मैंने तानसेन का स्टेटस पे देखा तो आई एम एगर टू उसको देखना था मुझे। और ये जो वर्कशॉप के बारे में है, मैंने भी उनसे पूछा, वेबसाइट पे गया और फिर उसके बाद ये किया। तो मैं चाहूंगा इस साल इतनी अच्छी स्टोरी थी। सबसे पहले तो जब रुपिंदर जी ने शुरू किया और आखिरी में जो बताया उन्होंने फिर से वही स्टोरी, कोई भी अंतर नहीं था। मैं इतना एंजॉय किया एक एक स्टोरी। मैं स्टिल फर्स्ट स्टोरी से लेके आखिरी स्टोरी, हर एक स्टोरी अच्छी थी। उनका वॉइस ओवर, जैसे हमने पढ़ा है, कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट मैंने पढ़े हैं, तो इट ऑल ऐसा, एक भी परफॉर्मेंस ऐसा नहीं लगा कि उसमें मैं बोर हो रहा। जो इंग्लिश में भी थे, इतनी अच्छी थी, और एक मराठी भी थी। और उसके बाद आपने जो सबको इन बिटवीन 60 सेकंड आपने उसको एक्सप्लेन किया, बहुत ही अच्छा था। और मेरे साथ मेरे कुछ सहकर्मी भी थे जो स्टोरी सुन रहे थे बीच बीच में। थैंक यू, ऐसे ही चलते रहिए।
थैंक यू, शुक्रिया कार्तिक, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। हम तनुश्री को भी सुनेंगे और फिर हम कुलकर्णी जी को सुनेंगे। पहले तनुश्री, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे?
हेलो। मेरा ये पहला एक्सपीरियंस था एज एन ऑडियंस टू स्टोरी टेलिंग। बहुत पहले गांधी फेलोशिप के इंटरव्यू के लिए मैंने एक स्टोरी बनाई थी और आई रिमेम्बर द प्रोसेस। बहुत मज़ा आया था। आई थिंक आप सभी लोगों ने कितना एफर्ट डाला है और कितना एंजॉय किया है प्रोसेस को, वो आपके फाइनल प्रोडक्ट में दिख रहा था। एंड जिस वे में, मतलब जैसे आपका नाम बताया गया और आपने वैसे ही अपने स्टोरी को उठा लाया ना, इट वाज रियली ब्यूटीफुल हर किसी का। और अगर कहीं पे भी थोड़ा नर्वसनेस दिखा हो, आई थिंक उसको थोड़ा साइड पे रख सकते हैं, क्योंकि इट्स अ वेरी बिग जर्नीज फाइनल प्रोडक्ट। एंड वो बहुत सुंदर लगा सभी का। वॉइस मॉड्यूलेशन तो उसका एक हिस्सा था, पर लोगों ने अपनी स्टोरीज को जिया ऐसे लग रहा था हमारे सामने, तो बहुत ही सुंदर था। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया तनुश्री। कुलकर्णी जी।
Yeah, hi. First of all, great job, everybody. I mean, mentors, organizers, each and every performer. Somebody who is quite interested in communication. I do bunch of public speaking, presentations, and so on. Storytelling is one of the very important aspect always considered within any communication, whether you're talking for 2 minutes or 20 minutes or an hour. So this was brilliant to watch. It's great, Ankit, you took it out as a Kulkarni G, but the triple A part is all three of us in this house are named from A, which is why I put it as triple A family. And we were all sitting here. My wife is still here. She's listening to everything. Son finished listening to everything, ran away to play, obviously, his next love. So awesome job, and kudos to everybody. I mean, everybody had amazing variations, amazing narration capabilities, and hats off to the mentors to be able to bring it out of everybody. Because I know the very first time, the recollection that I have is my teacher forced me to uh, be a part of an elocution competition, and I froze in the second one that I ever did. First one was a nightmare, but I somehow went through it, and the third one I ended up winning. So I remember that journey to see similar things. I still shake, I still have deep breathing before I walk on the stage, even after so many years. So awesome job, everybody, and hats off to all of you. Thank you. An evening well spent, as I wrote on the chat as well. This was awesome. So many stories all at the same time. Wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining with family. I think it's a great thing to do together with family, isn't it? Sitting and listening to stories, the good old way. Deepika is here, and I remember Deepika from our last season as well. Good to see you, Deepika. Please unmute and please talk to us.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. Uh, about stories and storytelling, it is like very difficult for me to speak like briefly. I can go on for hours, I think. But two things I would like to, just tell here is, one is congratulations to all the mentors. One of my friend Latika was also mentoring this time. I'm really happy to know that. And congratulations to all the performers, because you did really, really well. One more thing, I come here generally is not just for the love of stories, but also the sparkle that I see, in every performer's eyes whenever they perform, because that is what I also, share with you all as a co-storyteller, co-educator. So, yeah, it was really well spent evening with all of you virtually.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepika. Rupinder?
And second thing would be that I have also retold a lot many times, adapted, and I totally agree with Ankit when he said that writing and coming up with your own stories is something that I'm still dreaming of, and I'll take this session as a an inspiring one and inspiration one, so that very soon I could also come up with my own story. So thank you for giving me that motivation. Thank you all who shared their own stories.
Thank you, Deepika. Rupinder?
I so wanted to say what Deepika just said, that, I also want to write my own story in some way or the other. And what all you people did today was so amazing. I mean, हर एक की स्टोरी में ऐसा लगता था बिल्कुल ही गुम हो गए हैं। और मेरे से जो पहले स्टोरी थी लतिका की और उनके पार्टनर की, और मुझे लगा कि मैं अपनी कहानी नहीं बोल पाऊंगी बिकॉज आई वाज सो एनग्रॉस्ड एंड दैट वाज अ टोटल डिफरेंट जॉनर ऑफ द स्टोरी। इतना ऐसा लग रहा था, इमोशनली कनेक्ट हो गए हैं उस कहानी से, दैट आई एक्चुअली टुक माई सेल्फ आउट। और वो आपने जो बोला होगा शायद मैंने सुना नहीं होगा लास्ट में, बिकॉज आई वाज प्रिपेयरिंग माई सेल्फ फॉर माई ओन। तो इसलिए, बट इट वाज सो अमेजिंग। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग दिस एक्सपीरियंस। एंड वही हमें लगता है ना कि जैसे एक कविता थी कि एक चिड़िया को हमेशा लगता था इतना सा ही है संसार, तो मुझे भी यही लगता था। बट जब इतने वर्ल्ड वाइड सेटअप में जब हम जाते हैं तो हमें लगता है दुनिया कितनी बड़ी है और कितना कुछ है सीखने को। और इट वाज रियली अ ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस बीइंग विद यू पीपल। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू। ये शाम का वो हिस्सा है जब हमारा जबड़ा दर्द होने लगता है मुस्कुरा मुस्कुरा के, और ये कितना प्यारा रीजन है इस दर्द के लिए। सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर गिविंग अस दिस मच ऑफ जॉय, ऑल ऑफ यू, ऑल द परफॉर्मर्स। लतिका?
बस मैं कुछ छोटा सा ऐड करना चाहती हूँ कि ये करीब 20-25 दिन ये बाकी लोग प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे, तो मैं उनकी कहानियां सुन रही थी। तो मेरे घर में ना एक रूटीन सा बन गया था कि मैं मम्मी को बताती थी जाके कि आज ये कहानी हुई, उस पे ये फीडबैक हुआ और कल उन्होंने उस पे इम्प्रूव भी कर लिया। तो ये पूरा रूटीन चल रहा है। और मतलब मुझे ऐसा ऐसे शक होता है शायद मेरी मम्मी सोचती है मैं स्टोरी के आड़ में ना कुछ कर रही हूँ, पूरा दिन मैं ये स्टोरी स्टोरी करती रहती हूँ, तो उन्हें लगता है कि कुछ तो चल रहा है। तो हाँ, मैं सोच रही हूँ कि अगर उन्होंने मुझसे पूछ लिया तो मैं बताऊंगी कि हाँ चल तो रहा है और थोड़ा सीरियस भी है। तो मेरी मम्मी भी इस प्रोसेस में बिल्कुल खो गई है, और वो यहाँ पर थी भी, और उन्होंने काफी सारी कहानी सुनी, उन्हें काफी मजा आया। थैंक यू।
शुक्रिया लतिका। आई होप ये और सीरियस होता चला जाए। थान सिंह?
थैंक यू अंकित जी। एक ही चीज बोलना था, बिकॉज जो प्रोसेस था एक स्टोरी को तैयार करने का वाज अ बिग, मतलब लगता है कि यार कि आप जो रिटर्न देख रहे हैं और जो अब तैयारी होके जो नया निकलता है वो अलग ही होता है। देन उस प्रोसेस में आप मल्टीपल चीजें, स्किल सेटअप ऐसा बिल्ड हो जाता है। देन मैं ऑब्जर्व कर रहा था अपनी क्लास में जा रहा हूँ, एंड देन बच्चों के साथ एक दिन तो ऐसे डिस्कशन हो रहा है और वो एक टॉपिक को लेकर, एंड देन वो एक फ्लो में चला गया, देन बच्चे पीछे इतना साइलेंट बैठे, मैं बोलो ये कैसे हो रहा है, ऑल ऑब्जर्व। तो बच्चे कुछ पीछे लास्ट जैसे क्लोज हो रहा तो बच्चे दो चार बच्चे तालियां बजा रहे थे, मैं बोला ये कैसे हो सकता है, ताली क्यों बजा रहे हो। एंड देन उनको मुझे रियलाइज हुआ कि बोथ ऑफ देम जिनके साथ आप कनेक्ट करते हैं कितना एंजॉय करते हैं आपकी बातों को, तो वो निकल के आ रहा था पर्सनैलिटी से। तो जस्ट मेजर चेंजेस मैं फील कर रहा था। या थैंक यू।
या बहुत सही बात कर रहे हैं थान सिंह। एक्चुअली जो हम लोग जो मेंटर्स है ना, हम लोग का जो अंदर का ग्रुप है, उसमें हर बार जब वो एक मेंटरिंग होती है हम जाके बोलते हैं कि यार इसने बड़ा सही किया आज, कल तो बड़ी गड़बड़ हो रही थी पर आज तो मजा आ गया। और ये रोज के रोज उस प्रोसेस को देखना, उस प्रोग्रेस को देखना, कि कल तक जिसके लिए हम सब डर रहे थे कि यार ये परफॉर्मेंस कैसे निकलेगी, अगले दिन किसी एक के सामने भी वो परफॉर्मेंस का अच्छा हो जाना, उस प्रोग्रेस को देखना इतना प्यारा होता है। और जितने भी सब लोग जो मेंटर्स थे वो पिछले कोर्स में अभी जस्ट सीख के आए हैं 3 महीने पहले। तो जब मैं उनको मेंटरिंग करते देख रहा था मुझे इतनी खुशी हो रही थी कि क्या बात है। मतलब ये कहाँ से निकल के आ गया एक्सपर्टीज, पर ये बिल्कुल था। यानी पिछले 3 महीनों में एक स्टोरी टेलिंग के एक परफॉर्मेंस से ही उन्होंने इतना ज्यादा खुद को पहचाना है, इतना ज्यादा इस दुनिया को पहचाना है स्टोरी टेलिंग का। वो ग्रोथ देखना इतना अमेजिंग था। लतिका, मोहिनी, यशस, पूजा सुबह, इन सबको देखना बहुत ही प्यारा था। थैंक यू सो मच। और मैं आगे किसी को अगर बहुत देर हो रही हो तो वो जा भी सकते हैं, पर अगर आप थोड़ा और रुक सके तो हम थोड़े और लोगों को सुन के फिर थोड़ी सी देर में चलते हैं। गायत्री।
Yeah, hi everybody. This is Gayatri Vardraj, and I'm an educational psychologist. And I was very intrigued by Ankit's post when he mentioned about this platform happening. And firstly, kudos to everybody who are here. I had the opportunity to witness something incredible happening here. So usually, as practitioners, we recommend storytelling to teachers before they start up a lesson, or even in sessions, we do like take bits and pieces of storytelling here and there in order to bring in, a cohesion into what we're doing, and in classroom management also. And something that I witnessed here was before even a story begin, a lot of emotions flowed in with just the starting of how these how our storytellers started with these stories. So everybody had their own niche and their own way of storytelling, and it was amazing. Time that I spent here, I got to witness something really beautiful, and I'm so glad that all of you had this grace while performing. All the best to everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Gayatri, for your words. Thank you. Um, Ankita and her partner, perhaps. Oh, we can't hear you, Ankita, actually. The voice is not coming. Is there a Bluetooth device connected? A headphone? I'm glad this tragedy is happening in the very end and did not happen during any of the performance. Thank you, the gods of technology, for being with us today. It was really good. Not a single inconsistency came our way. That's so good to see. Ankita, you want to speak now? Perhaps you can speak from another device. Okay. And as she's preparing to speak, I'll quickly give anybody a chance who wants to speak, but we'll wrap up in another 5 minutes. Is that fair? Okay. I'll first come to Shivani.
I really want to share that Amrita ji ने जो story सुनाई थी ना, although I could not understand it, but it was so lovely seeing all those expression, all those voice modulation and your mapping. It was really wonderful. And क्योंकि ये एक स्टोरी थी जो मुझे समझ में आ रही थी और समझ में नहीं भी आ रही थी, क्योंकि लैंग्वेज थोड़ी अलग थी, बट मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मुझे सब समझ में आ रहा है। एंड जब अंकित ने वो रीटोल्ड करी तो वो सब सच में समझ में आ गया। एंड टू ऑल द परफॉर्मर्स जो भी थे, एंड हर स्टोरी में कुछ अलग था और एक अलग फ्लेवर था, बट ऐसा था कि बस हाँ सुनते रहो। मतलब इवन मेरी मम्मी बीच में कुछ खाने को ला रही है, कभी कुछ ला रही है, मम्मी अभी मुझे डिस्टर्ब मत करो। और मेरी मम्मी ने लाइक लिटरली आज कपड़े नहीं धोए हैं क्योंकि वो यहीं होते हैं, इससे कि मैंने कहा आज मुझे ना इतनी सी भी आवाज नहीं चाहिए। आई रियली वांट टू लिसन एंड आई रियली एंजॉयड। एंड सच में आई वांट टू एक्सप्लोर मोर जॉनरास आफ्टर दिस, कि यस आई वांट टू नाउ maybe next time perform some folk tale or anything, क्योंकि सारी stories इतनी amazing थी। Thank you so much.
ये एक ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे हम चोरी को बहुत एनकरेज करते हैं। जो भी कहानी आपने सुनी है उसे आप चुरा सकते हैं। उनका नाम लीजिए कि आपने किन से सुनी थी और कहीं भी जाकर उस कहानी को सुना दीजिए। हम सब ये कलेक्टिव पूल है जिसमें ये सारी कहानियां जो सुनाई गई हैं वो सबके लिए अवेलेबल है। किसी भी स्टोरी को लेके उनके साथ कांटेक्ट कीजिए। अगर आपको लतिका की स्टोरी अच्छी लगी, लतिका का नंबर मुझसे लीजिए, उन्हें कॉल कीजिए और बोलिए कि अब मैं ये कहानी करना चाहती हूँ, क्या आप मुझे मेंटोर कर सकते हैं। और मुझे लगता है ये एक ऐसी कम्युनिटी है जहां पर आपको ना बहुत ही रेयरली सुनने को मिलेगा। आप कभी भी किसी से भी मदद मांगेंगे और कोई ना कोई तो आपकी मदद के लिए आ जाएगा। और मुझे उम्मीद है कि अब आप भी वही बन जाएंगे जब मई में अगले साल बहुत सारे नए लर्नर्स आएंगे। कभी कभी आपको टेक्स्ट आएगा कि आपने खुद से कोई कहानी लिखी थी और मैं भी लिखना चाहती हूँ, मुझे लगता नहीं मैं कि लिख सकती हूँ। और उस डाउट से उस बिलीफ के बीच की जो जर्नी है ये इतनी प्यारी है, जिसका हिस्सा आप भी बन सकते हैं। तो Satyavati.
When Swati Akka and Ambika Akka kept like hyping this course up, I knew that they're honest people, but I thought such a sweet community is not possible, and it's maybe so much sweetness is at some level pretentious is what I thought. But somehow seeing the kind of support through the rehearsals and today, it's just so lovely, and there was nothing. It was not fake or anything. It was coming genuinely, and that's kind of very rare and incredible. So thanks to all the participants and Ankit for creating such a unique space and showing that it's possible to do that even online.
I think we crave this magic,
Yeah.
Satyavati, and the only thing I've learned is there's no magic given in the world. For some people to experience magic, others have to create it. At this time, it was the mentors. I really, really want to thank Yashas and Latika and Pooja Suba and Dr. Swati. For the last many evenings, they were relentlessly listening to 8, 10 stories, and it is not easy. Trust me, listening to a story is not easy if you're listening to it over and over again. And they were very patient and they were working till late nights, even though they had nothing to gain from this except just the love and the learning of it, just the passion of it. So, just want to congratulate the magic makers here, all the mentors, and we have ample time if you want to say anything. Any of the mentors who are really here, yeah, Dr. Swati, Yashas, feel very free to unmute and speak. It will be an honor to listen to you. Swati ji, Yashas.
Yeah. Uh, y- like when this you had posted in the old group if you want to mentor, I was like, I don't know. Because when I was doing my rehearsals in September, मेरे को भी पता नहीं था, like when people were discussing, I can't see it, okay? I can't see it, what you are telling. But like I used to rehearse with Shalu, Ambika, Pooja. They used to give some suggestions and everything. And when your post came, they said like, Yashas, you should also mentor this time. I was like, okay, Shalu, I'll नाम तो डालूंगा because in the Excel sheet there was nothing much I could write. I'm like, I just performed one cat and mouse story. That's it. I don't know anything. I'm not an educator. But with this experience, I really could identify and give some feedback because I honestly thought I am just a good listener. I can't give any feedback. I have not done anything great. But I could recognize, okay, ये थोड़ा better कर सकते हैं, ये थोड़ा pacing थोड़ा ये कर सकते हैं, and everything. And it was so, I learned it again. It was like a crash course kind of thing. So it was wonderful. And hearing stories of Satyavati, Grace, Marilyn, Latika, it was so wonderful. And Shubhi, I'm forgetting so many names, Shivani, I just enjoyed. I was like every time saying again, even Amrut wonderful and Ankita. It was just I was hearing it and enjoying it. It didn't feel like this is a big task for me. I was like, अभी मेरा काम हो गया and I'm free now. I'm here to laugh and enjoy and maybe give some 1 or 2 feedback. Yeah. So it was really good to see them perform now. Like it was like, wow, like Shivani ne itna acha, like even though it's like I'm hearing for 7th or 8th time, it was like, wow, just amazing. Even Shubhi, even like others, Ankita, it was, yeah. I'm so thankful to you, Ankit, like for creating this kind of space. It's like like the village you're creating, and yeah, so wonderful to be a part of this village.
Thank you, Yashas. Now you are a village elder, even though you're quite young. Yeah, I think that's very true. We didn't start out with this imagination of a village. We just wanted to run a course, but we realized this course is giving us so much more than what a course usually gets. And slowly we started to call it a community. And it's coming to a point where we are starting to call it a village because now there are many communities coming together here. So, yeah. Ankita?
Uh, Sir, I enjoyed every bit of this course, every single bit. Like I told you, 2 hours का lecture, I was wondering कि क्या होगा 2 घंटे में, मतलब कितना ज्यादा हो जाएगा कंटिन्यूसली स्क्रीन के सामने बैठना. बट आफ्टर एवरी सिंगल सेशन मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि अरे अभी बस हो गया. एन एग्जैक्ट सेम फीलिंग मुझे आज, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है आज तो हमने शुरू किया है. आज हम ऐसे गुड बाइज क्यों बोल रहे हैं एक दूसरे को, क्योंकि अभी तो शुरू हुआ है. ऐसा लग रहा है इट्स जस्ट द बिगिनिंग. Everything was so wonderfully organized and wonderfully planned. The most remarkable thing, मेरे last few days मेरे बहुत favorite थे, क्योंकि वो जो practice sessions on रहते थे घंटों घंटों तक, तो कभी भी उसके अंदर आना, बाहर निकलना, अंदर आना, अपना परफॉर्मेंस होने के बाद भी ऐसा लगता नहीं नहीं, वो फोम होता था, नहीं मुझे सुनना है और क्या प्रैक्टिस चल रही है देखते हैं. तो इट वॉज अमेजिंग. मुझे बहुत बहुत मजा आया इस कोर्स में थ्रू आउट, राइट फ्रॉम डे वन. और अभी भी मुझे ऐसे लग रहा है खत्म ना हो, कुछ ना कुछ चलता रहे. एंड आई वुड वांट टू कंटिन्यू टू बी अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस इज अ लवली कम्युनिटी. पीपल आर सो जनरस. आई थिंक आपकी जनरसिटी ट्रिकल्स डाउन. सारे मेंटोर्स दे वर ऑलवेज एकदम खुले दिल से, दे वर अवेलेबल, रेडी टू लिसन एंड टू फाइंड somebody who has interest in your stories, who wants to listen to you. ऐसी कोई जगह मिलना where people are so supportive. और आप तो अच्छे अच्छे आइडिया शेयर करते ही थे, लेकिन वो पीयर लर्निंग सेशन में और बाकी में जो बाकी के लोग भी चीजें कंट्रीब्यूट करते थे, मुझे ऐसा लगता था मैं क्या क्या लिखूं, इतनी सारी चीजें अच्छी अच्छी हैं सुनने मिल रही है. तो ऐसी स्पेस मैं इतना क्रेव कर रही थी कि ऐसी कोई जगह हो जहाँ पे मुझे ऐसे लगे आई बिलोंग. और ऐसी जगह मुझे मिली, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है. थैंक यू सो मच.
थैंक यू. थैंक यू अंकिता. स्वाति जी.
इस बार मैंने ज्यादा कुछ काम नहीं किया. बहुत ही एक कहते हैं ना कहानी में एक मोड़ होता है ना, सबसे जरूरी मोड़. तो अपने जिंदगी के ऐसे एक मोड़ पे थी मैं. अंकित कहते हैं इसको थ्रेशोल्ड मोमेंट ऑफ लाइफ. बिटिया की शादी हुई है मेरी, तो मेरा पूरा अक्टूबर नवंबर उसमें बीत गया. तो मैं ज्यादा काम नहीं कर पाई इस ग्रुप के साथ. यही कहूंगी कि बहुत ही सुंदर जगह है, और इट्स वेरी रेयर टू हैव अ प्लेस वेयर यू कैन बी योर सेल्फ. एंड it's really rare where people can listen to you. And thank you, Ankit, for creating such beautiful space for all of us. I think Emerson is a paradise, but you have chopped some part of that paradise and tried bringing it here. We have created a beautiful village. So looking forward to many more. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you. Emerson is the college where we both have studied, Swati ji and I. So, and we both had the same teacher, Roy, and it's his love for story that has actually trickled down in both of us. And Swati ji, I think you worked very hard, and I have also not worked as much. That's because we are getting old now, Swati ji. And now we have so much more support. I
Yes,
think हमें
yes.
मजदूरी करने की इतनी आदत हो गई थी कि इस बार जब इतना सारा सपोर्ट मिल रहा था दूसरे मेंटर से, तो मजा आ रहा था. कई बार तो मुझे खुद लग रहा था कि मैं थोड़ा कम करूँ, थोड़ा ये कर ले, थोड़ा वो कर ले. सब इतना भार उठा रहे थे कि भार हमारे ऊपर
नहीं,
बिल्कुल
ये
आए ही
बहुत अच्छी. यशस का तो स्माइल से ही आधी तबीयत खुश हो जाती है. व्हेन यू लुक एट हिम. लतिका इतने प्यार से धीरे धीरे बोलती है. पूजा की तो इतनी क्रिस्प फीडबैक, इतना सुंदर प्रिसाइज फीडबैक उनका होता है. खालिदा, शालू जिनको कहते हैं हम लोग ना, और भी सभी मेंटर्स बहुत मेहनत की है इस बार. और मतलब सच में भार एकदम हल्का हो गया. अभी हम लोग बस बैठ के आराम से
हाँ,
कहानी
मुझे ऐसे ग्रैंडफादरी फीलिंग आ रही थी कि अगली जनरेशन है अभी करने के लिए.
बिल्कुल.
चलिए इस मौके का फायदा उठा के हम ये भी बता देते हैं कि अब हम इस कम्युनिटी को भी एक नाम देने जा रहे हैं. हम सब जो इस कोर्स को पहले कर चुके हैं, हम सब मिलकर थोड़ा और काम, थोड़े और कोलैबोरेशंस करें. और फिलहाल के लिए इसको शेप होने में थोड़े महीने लग जाएंगे, शायद कुछ महीने, 3-4 महीने. पर इसका हम फिलहाल नाम कहानी गांव ही रख रहे हैं. ये हमें एक बड़ी गांव और विलेज वाली फीलिंग देता है. हम सब साथ हैं, और इसीलिए मैं चाहूंगा कि जो भी पीयर लर्निंग था वो भी एक हल्का सा फॉर्म चेंज करे, और हम सब एक कलेक्टिव ग्रुप का हिस्सा रहें. आपस में जो जिन्होंने पहले ये कोर्स किया है और जो अभी करते हैं और जो आगे करने वाले हैं, हम सब जुड़े रहें. हम सब एक छोटा सा कहानी गांव का हिस्सा रहें. और दुनिया में बहुत सारी स्टोरी टेलिंग हो रही है और 10,000 स्टोरी टेलर्स हैं. लेकिन हम यहाँ पर आए क्योंकि कुछ ना कुछ हमें यहाँ पर लेकर आया है. कुछ ऐसे बच्चे हैं जिनको हम कहानी सुनाना चाहते हैं. कुछ ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे और स्टोरी टेलर्स नहीं पहुंचे, जहाँ हम पहुंचना चाहते हैं. हम अपनी स्टोरी टेलिंग को अपने तरीके का जरूर रखें. हम ना देखें कि वायरल क्या हो रहा है, हम ना देखें कौन पैसा बना रहा है, हम ना देखें कि बाकी कुछ कैसा कैसा हो रहा है। हम अपना जिस मकसद से यहाँ आए थे उसको जरूर वापस अपने साथ लेके जाए, और यहाँ वापस आते रहे, बार बार मिलते रहे। आप सब भी लौट के आए, अगली बार आप लोग भी मेंटरिंग करेंगे। अम, इसी के साथ मुझे लगता है आज की शाम को खत्म करने का अच्छा वक्त आ गया है। लास्ट में क्या बोलना होता है ये हम में से किसी को नहीं आता। हम हमेशा शुरू, आप अभी भी देख रहे हैं कि मेरा श सा होना शुरू हो गया है, इसका मतलब कि मैं थक चुका हूँ। हमें सा हो गया और मोहिनीस हो गया, और ये बताता है कि आज की शाम काफी लंबी हो चुकी है और अब इसे खत्म करने का वक्त आ गया है। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया भरत, पल्लवी, यशस, ग्रेस, शिवानी, शुभी, लतिका, अंकिता, शीतल, तनुश्री, मैरिलिन, अमृता, सत्यावती, नंदिनी, श्रीलक्ष्मी, प्रणाली, जिन्होंने पीछे बैकग्राउंड में रह के टिकटिंग से लेकर पोस्टर से लेकर बहुत ही सारा काम किया, और एक तरह से हमारे
Yes.
ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को पीछे से बहुत ज्यादा सपोर्ट किया। बहुत बहुत
Yes.
शुक्रिया
Thank you
प्रणाली,
so much, Pranali. Thank you.
गायत्री, नेहा,
You.
स्वाति, जूली, दिलना। दिलना यहाँ पर है। दिलना मेरी एक बहुत ही फेवरेट इंसान है, और हम दोनों कहानियों को लेकर काम करते हैं। और दिलना, अगर आपको नहीं पता तो हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर से कुछ ही हफ्तों पहले बात करके आई हैं। दिलना पूरी दुनिया का एक चक्कर एक सेल बोट में लगा चुकी है, और एक जगह है नीमो पॉइंट की वजह से, जो कि दुनिया की रिमोटेस्ट जगह मानी जाती है, उसके एग्जैक्ट कोऑर्डिनेट्स पर सेल बोट से पहुंचने वाली 2 महिलाओं में शामिल हैं। तो दिलना, थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर, इट्स एन ऑनर फॉर अस टू हैव यू हियर।
Thank you, Ankit. It was lovely listening to all the stories.
थैंक यू। और आपका जो काम मैंने नहीं किया, ये कॉल खत्म होते ही मैं उस काम को मैं शुरू कर दूंगा। थैंक यू शाह, थैंक
Thank
यू
you, Ankit.
अंजलि, तान सिंह एंड ऑल ऑफ यू।